Welcome to the Undisputed podcast. I'm your host, Jenny Taft. This podcast is the full show from today's episode of Undisputed from start to finish. They've got a busy slate, so Skip, Shannon, let's get to it.
Welcome to Undisputed. We are live from LA. I'm Jenny Taft here with Skip Bayless and Shannon Sharpe. Good morning,
Good party.
Although not a good
Window
morning
Saints.
for me.
Yeah. Go marching in.
You know,
Window
I will give you this. You got me on Tom Brady, but how about them Cowboys?
You beat Kirk Cousins.
6 straight, baby. Are you smelling? I'm smelling Super Bowl.
No.
You smell it? You smell it?
You beat Kirk Cousins.
I'm smelling Super Bowl.
What did you call
You
him
love
Friday?
him. You
What
say
did you call
first
him Friday?
cousins.
What did you call him Friday? You called Kurt.
Kurt. He was Kurt last night.
Exactly.
Thank you. And I'm going to be Kurt about Kurt.
This is so sad. This is so sad.
It is sad.
I had a Vikings outfit planned out for the day, and you know
That's
where it
too
is?
bad.
It's sitting in my closet because, yeah, Skip is the one gloating. All right, we will get to Tom Brady's shocking loss in just a few minutes. I know Shannon has a lot to say there, but yes, we have to start with Skip's Cowboys that pulled off the win. And it was a wild win without Dak Prescott last night, who missed the game with his sore calf. Backup Cooper Rush got his first NFL start and delivered with 325 passing yards and 2 touchdowns, including the game winner to Amari Cooper with 55 seconds left on the clock as Dallas topped Minnesota 20-16. Shannon, what did the Cowboys show you last night without Dak Prescott getting it done?
Well, this was a total team win, Skip. The offense is a fine oil machine. I think Amari Cooper stepped up last night and showed you I'm still the big dog. I'm still the chief operating officer here. Let's not get that confused. I know the young gun is coming, but I'm still Amari Cooper. I'm still the number 1 receiver. Skip, if you look at it, this game, you could just sum this game up. It's 3rd and 11. They check the ball down. They say, you know what, we get the field goal, we play for overtime. And what does Zeke do? Run through 2 tackles, get the first down, move the chain 50 yards, 50 seconds on the clock, they throw the touchdown to Amari Cooper. You kind of got a sense, Skip, on that last drive. The guy has an opportunity for an interception. The ball hits him in his chest. Amari Cooper somehow catches it and runs down the field. So that was foreshadowing of a sign to come. But I would be very remiss. This game was one on the defensive side of the football. They held them, if I'm not mistaken, I'm going to make sure this stat is correct, Skip. 1 for 13.
That is correct.
On 3rd down.
1 of 13.
That's 7%. Even when Cooper Rush turned the football over, Skip, the defense says, nah, I think we're going to sack you guys, going to push you back out of field goal range.
Yep.
And that was the difference in the ball game. And Cooper Rush played well enough, Skip. He made enough throws. Now, I thought CeeDee Lamb had him doomed on that one, Skip, because CeeDee wanted to run before he even had the football, and he just kept running to the sideline.
It looked like a big mistake.
It looked like a big mistake. But, Skip, give Cooper Rush credit. 20 of 40, 325, the long touchdown to Cedric Wilson. Skip, this team reminds me, I was watching them last night, and I was saying to myself, man, this team reminded me of 98 because John Elway tweaked his hamstring in the second game of the season.
Yep.
We had to play like 4 or 5 games with Bubby Brister and Skip. We didn't miss a beat. We just knew offensively what we had from TD to myself, Ed, Rod. Offensive line was sensational, and we didn't miss a beat. Held the fort down.
Where had Bubby been before he came to you?
Bubby was at the Jets. He was at the Jets.
Wasn't he at Pittsburgh?
He started at Pittsburgh.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
But he started games for Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
Cooper Rush had thrown 3 passes in his life in 2017 and completed 1 for 2 yards.
But when you're so talented around him, you don't ask him to do a whole lot. You hit Cedric Wilson, Skip, you catch him in cover 5, 2-man, you split the seam, and Cedric Wilson does the rest. And so that's what he had to do. And it just goes to show you, Skip. I'm watching Dak warm up last night. I'm like, Dak look good to me. That was an indictment on First Cousins. They said, we feel so comfortable starting a guy that hadn't thrown. How many passes you say he thrown?
One. I mean, he completed 3, completed 1 pass. Okay. That was in 2017.
So that just tells you what they thought about Kirk Cousins. That's what they tell you. But, Skip, this team looked good. We're going to talk about them a little later. But Dallas Cowboys, I'm getting to the point I think I might want to go ahead. Can I buy my bet for like 2 cases?
Seriously?
Yeah, I think I want to buy it.
Well, it's like a 10-case bet. Why would I do it for 2?
3.
I'll do 5 right now. Do you want 5? I'll do 5 to get you out of the NFC least bet that you made. You got the field.
Let me see what happens.
All right, we'll see what happens the rest of the show.
Yeah, because the Eagles looked good yesterday.
We will revisit this. What did I tell you from the start? The Eagles were the biggest threat to my Cowboys, and who had the best QBR of the week this week? Jalen Hurts. I told you. You didn't listen to me.
They did play the Lions.
Okay, they did play the Lions. What's left of the Lions. My turn.
Okay.
I will be the first to admit I was wrong about my Cowboys last night because I told you on Friday, I actually told you all week long that if Dak can't go, which I kept telling you, I don't think he's going to play. All the tea leaves read to me, not going to play. But I told you if Cooper Rush starts this game, they will lose this game to Kirk Cousins at Minnesota.
Right.
And yet, I have been right about my team from day one of this season. I have told you this team is different. This team has a swagger I haven't seen since the 90s. This team has a meant-to-be-ness about it that I haven't felt since the 90s when I covered the dynastic Dallas Cowboys of Jimmy Johnson and then Barry Switzer. This team is special, different from all the teams that we've talked about here on Undisputed since 2016. This team actually believes it's going to win every game no matter what. You can just see it in their body language. We're going to do this. We're going to figure this out. Somehow, some way, we'll get the bounce, we'll get the break, or we will make the bounce or make the break to win the football game. That's how you get to a Super Bowl for the first time since the 1995 season, which I covered and wrote a book about called Hell Bent. And last night was the classic example of they had every chance to fold the way every Cowboy team that seems like for years we talked about.
Well, your defense was trying to help them fold.
Okay, well, what I'm saying is they had every opportunity to do Cowboy things.
And they were doing it.
They were doing Cowboy things, but they wouldn't let Minnesota take advantage. Right. So my point is, let's start with Ezekiel Elliott. Look, my team was second in the league in rushing going into this game. And then what happened? Not a lot happened, right?
Right.
They ran for 78 yards against the Minnesota defense.
Skip, you heard Zim say it. If Dak doesn't play, I'm going to force their quarterback to beat me. Well, he did.
Who wouldn't?
Exactly.
Who wouldn't? So Zeke goes 16 carries for 50 yards, which is barely over 3 a carry, which will not win the football game. And I tweeted late in the game, it was starting to feel like the bad old days with Zeke again when you waste downs handing him the ball because he's going nowhere slowly. He started to tiptoe again toward the holes. He wasn't hitting them with the rage he was the 3, 4, 5 games ago.
The opening wasn't there, Skip. If you look at Harrison Smith, Skip, they were playing 8-9-man box. That's why you had 2 receivers go over 100 yards.
Okay, and he hadn't done anything catching the ball either. He had, what was it? They ran for 78. But the point was he had done nothing until the play in question, which became the play of the game. And this is how you win football games when you shouldn't win the football game. If we could see that, I'm going all the way to the end of the game. This is 3rd and 11 from the 20 you talked about with 1:04 left. And I thought, okay, let's just take the field goal here. And what happened? This happened. Just a little flip to Zeke, and I'm thinking, oh, well, that's going nowhere. And he runs through 4 Vikings and gets it down to the 5-yard line. Well, there was Zeke running with the old T.O. type rage, right? That was, I will not be denied. And all of a sudden, I'm saying, you're kidding me. We have it 1st and goal at the 5. Then I thought, are we just going to hand it to Zeke and try to bleed the clock out? No. What does Cooper Rush do? Cooper Rush comes out.
Called the fade to Amari.
Yeah, and he audibles to the fade. He said, I'm not going to hand the ball to Zeke when I see Amari one-on-one with the corner.
Yes.
And it was their backup corner, Dantzler, who had been elevated in the starting lineup, and they didn't have much respect for him. And he said, I'm going to throw it to Amari. Well, guess what, ladies and gentlemen? I was shocked Amari was in the football game because he had just made 2 huge plays, but then we saw him on the sideline with a Theragun. You know what a Theragun is? And he's working on his hamstring. Then he takes a tennis ball and he's rolling his hamstring. What usually happens on the road to Amari Cooper when he's on the sideline with a hamstring issue? He's gone for the rest of the road game, right? He's notorious for it.
Let me ask you a question. when they audible, what were you thinking? You remember Thursday night? They audible to the fade.
Yeah.
And one guy didn't get it.
Which game?
Arizona.
Green Bay.
That's it. That's the
that
play.
game. Now, that was the play.
That's
yeah,
it.
to A.J. Green.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
Just one was to the left, the other was to the right.
You know what? That's true.
The play.
Okay, that was a fade stop because it was a back shoulder throw. This is your classic over-the-top fade.
But, Skip, here's the thing. A.J. Green missed the check.
He did. He missed the check.
Amari got the check. So, they called a fade. But if Amari had missed the check, it still would have been a moot point.
Right.
Ball would have went out of bounds.
And all of a sudden, we had Cooper to Cooper.
Cooper to Cooper.
Cooper Rush to Amari Cooper. And I'm thinking, wait a second. Did Cooper Rush just throw that ball? Because that was about as sweet as you can throw the fade, right?
It was great timing.
Okay.
It was great timing.
All right, so now let's go back to the top. Cooper Rush didn't play great last night.
No. He played well. He made some timely throws.
He played as well as you could expect Cooper Rush to play with three attempts. He had a QBR of 45 on a scale 0 to 100, so it's a little below average, and that's about what I would give him, a little below average. And he was very shaky in the first half, and at halftime, I thought there was no way that Cooper Rush could win this game. I think Will Grier, their third-string quarterback, is better than Cooper Rush. But they have loved Cooper Rush from the start, although they did cut him.
Right.
And Jason Garrett loved him so much he brought him to New York, but then he cut him and he came back to Dallas.
Right.
But he's grown up in the system. He goes every day running the scout team against this defense, which is getting better and better. And he made enough plays to get them home.
But, Skip, you got to get now. The fumble wasn't his fault. That was Pollard. They got that picked up. Pollard stepped up too far inside, and he lets the guy get a running start and hit. He lucky his quarterback was able to continue because he hit him flush.
Okay, so he had two big turnovers.
Yes.
The first one came when he threw, let's see the pick that he threw.
That was a bad read, Skip.
It was just horrible. And I thought, this is how you lose big games on the road. So that's the first one. And guess what happened after that? My defense rose up and said no, because that's usually where you crumble and you say, well, it's not meant to be. And what had just happened before that? They had missed a 43-yard field goal. Zerline had missed it badly. Okay, so now two bad things have happened, and the defense rose up twice and said no. And now let's see the sack fumble. And this is where the defense rose up again. Here's the sack fumble. That was just, boy, he got shellacked.
Yes.
And I thought, okay, that's it. The dam just broke. Here we go. Yep, he got ripped. Tony Pollard stepped up and didn't even see.
But Skip, that's the thing. That's his guy. It's what we call it. You got to scan. Okay, you know, inside to outside. Why would you step up that far when the guy...
Zeke would have picked that one up. Of course. And he would have nailed it.
But, Skip, that's where you have to have peripheral. You're looking inside, but you see this guy, and if he comes, I got him.
Okay, and then what happened? My defense rose up again and shut down Kirk Cousins.
Yeah.
Well, that's how you win games. That's ultimately how you win championships. Do you remember? Last year, my defense was historically bad.
Yes.
It couldn't stop the run. It really couldn't stop anything.
Oh, they definitely would have gave her touchdowns on that interception.
And usually it's demoralizing when you go missed field goals, interception, sack fumble. You get demoralized. We got to go back out there again. We got to try to stop him again. But they stopped him again. And guess who was the breakout star once again of the night game? It was the guy you saw coming before I did. It was Micah Parsons.
He was all over the field.
He was all over the field. It's 11 from heaven. Number 11 had, guess what? Fittingly, 11 tackles, which led all defenders. 11 tackles?
Yes.
So our friend Wayne sent me a picture of a jersey that Micah signed for him. He's become the biggest Micah fan. Sent it to him.
I know Weeze ain't no Cowboy fan now.
You know what? He's admitted to me. He calls them the Cowgirls. Forgive us for that. It's not politically very correct, but it's Wayne. He's done this for years and years. They're the Cowgirls. But he admits to me he has been completely won over by Micah. I told you on his birthday trip where he went all around the country seeing big games, he went out of his way to go to Dallas versus Philadelphia just to see if Micah was for real. And he got him to send him a signed jersey. And he signed it with a hashtag Stix City, Stix, S-T-I-X, because it's 1-1. Remember, our man LeVar Arrington wore 1-1 at Penn State. Okay, so he's 11, Stick City. So now his new hashtag is hashtag Stick City. And he was sticking people all over the field.
He was.
And I have doubted using him as some kind of roving monster linebacker, but he is a monster.
Right.
And last night it actually worked because he was literally all over the field.
Skip, you have to keep him on the field. Now, you have to realize your best pass rushers, hopefully when he comes back and he's able to get some kind of is D-Law and Randy Gregory. Well, Skip, in a pass rush, third down situation, I can't take those guys off the field. So what I have to do is find a way to keep Micah Parsons on the field. So I'll just let him roll. Hey, I line him up over the guard.
Yep.
Hey, do whatever, but I just need you to get to places. And that's what they did last night. They lined him up in a conventional linebacker stance and just let him track all over the field. He has that kind of ability. He has that kind of uniqueness where he can play a hybrid, a lot of different positions, and be good at a lot of them.
And he has that kind of nose for football. He just smells it, sees it, chases it. He's always in the middle of where the football is.
But Skip, I was concerned that Minnesota was wasting these opportunities because I was like, the Cowboys defense has been really good on third down. And you look at it, Skip, that's an opportunity because now you're getting 4 cracks and they kept going 3 and out, 3 and out, 3 and out. I'm like, you know what? You can't keep squandering these opportunities. And at the half, you like a game that Minnesota should have been dominating, should have been up at least a touchdown, maybe 2.
I agree.
And I think they were tied, weren't they?
No, it's 10-3.
10-3. But Dallas had to feel good, like we hadn't even played anywhere close to our best football.
Okay, and then what happened coming right out of the half? Cedric Wilson happened. He is a playmaker. And again, Kellen Moore called another brilliant game to me, but they said they had worked on this play all week, and Cooper Rush said, as soon as I saw the defense, I knew we had this if I could make the throw.
Right.
And if we could see, this goes 73 yards to Cedric Wilson, and he split it, and he got it home. And he can run after catch now because that was some sweet moves because he outmaneuvered all 3 of them.
Right.
Just by weaving.
Yep. Caught him in the perfect defense.
Yep.
Safety split early and off to the races.
And Cooper Rush didn't miss the throw.
No, that's the thing, Skip. You can't miss it because you got a layup.
You got a layup.
Don't blow it.
I didn't know if you had a touchdown layup. I thought you might have a 50-yard layup, but I didn't know you had a 73-yard touchdown layup. And all of a sudden, it's a football game because now it's 10-10. So then they trade field goals back and forth. And then let's go to the first big Amari play. This is with 2:46 left in the game. This is lucky. It's the play that you talked about because this ball to Amari is not a great idea because it's pretty covered.
Right.
It is highly interceptable.
Yeah.
It is a bad idea play. It is what Pro Football Focus calls a turnover-worthy play. And yet the ball tips up in the air and Amari stuck with it and stayed with it and took it to the ground as a catch. And I was shocked by it because when things are going right, they're going right. And things have been going right for 7 straight games because they almost beat Brady at Brady. And that's one of those plays where I sat back and I said, you know what? This just might be the year.
Okay. You definitely knew it was your day.
It was a day for sure. And then Amari comes right back on the next play, if we could see this, and he catches an out for 18 yards. And this is the play. He pulled his hamstring on. I don't know what happened. Little quick out. He turns it up, and he does a little juke, and something felt a little shaky. And he's over on the sideline, and he's using a Theragun. Then he used a tennis ball to roll it. And he's trying to stretch it out. And all of a sudden, I'm thinking, well, he's done. So, and Gallup's not back yet. So I thought,
they're not rushing Gallup back. You see Wilson, you see Noah Brown, you see them making play. Skip, but Amari looked out on the field like, oh, man, they got man, that's a practice squad guy. Man, let me go ahead and get this money.
Okay. So now we get to another meant-to-be play. This one happened at the right after the 2-minute warning to Noah Brown, who's like the 4th receiver. Pretty good. Out of Ohio State. I thought the game ended right here because I thought Noah caught this and I thought he got stripped. And I thought, that's it. The game is over. But they got Harrison Smith for illegal hands to the face. And it negated the play. Well, that's it. That's going to be ball game. But he grabbed Blake Jarwin's face mask just briefly enough that they caught it, they flagged it, and it saved the day because I think Noah caught it and ran with it. It was a fumble. Okay, so meant to be? Needs some breaks?
Yep.
Well, yeah. It always happens.
Yeah,
that
in a game like that, Skip, look, you need some good things to happen in your favor. It happened, the fumble, the ball hit the DB in the chest. It pops up out of his chest. He bobbles it, throws it up in the air. Amari catches it and runs for another 10 yards.
Right.
That could have possibly ended the game there.
Okay, so let me sum up all the things that were going wrong. Obviously, Cooper Rush had 2 turnovers. How many times do you win a road game when you lose the turnover battle 2-0?
Right.
Because my defense had been forcing turnovers. It didn't force a turnover.
Right.
So it was 2-0 in favor of Minnesota, the home team, on turnovers. How often do you think that happens? I don't have the stat in front of me, but not very often.
Right. No.
And again, Zeke had 16 rushes for 50 yards. And before that last catch, he had caught 3 balls for 8 yards until that final 15-yarder. So who saw that coming? Well, here's how they flipped the script. The Cowboys go 7 of 14 on 3rd down, and the defense holds Kirk Cousins to 1 of 13. That's extraordinarily great.
Yeah, you show me a team that completes 50%, that's 50% conversion on 3rd down.
Right.
I'll show you a team with a winning record.
Okay. And my passing yardage was 341 to Kirk Cousins 177. Well, that'll flip the script.
Yep.
And that included a big throw from Cedric Wilson to CeeDee Lamb.
Right.
And by the way, CeeDee had that huge drop, and I thought that was a killer. I thought that might be the killer of the night, and they kept canceling it out. So all of a sudden, I'm looking at Minnesota's top 4 tacklers last night were all the secondary guys because they were coming up and they were just playing the run like crazy. They were the ones who were shutting down the run.
Right.
So we could not run like we usually run over people, and we had to throw it. He had to throw it. And he threw it enough, and the defense rose up high enough that we pulled off, what I think was a high degree of difficulty road win.
It was an impressive win, and I'll talk about Cousins in a little bit, Skip. But I think the thing is that Zim says, we know the Cowboys want to run the football. You knew the Cowboys want to run the football, especially starting a quarterback that had only thrown 3 NFL passes. So Zim says, no, you're not going to run the football. If your quarterback throws for 3+, I'm going to walk to the middle of the field and shake his hand at the end of the game. Well, hopefully Zim walked to the middle of the field and shook his hand, because that's exactly what he did. You forced him to throw the ball to beat you. He threw the ball and beat you, because you look at the guys that he had outside. If my safeties are making all these tackles, that means your corners are locked up one-on-one with Amari Cooper and CeeDee Lamb. The Cowboys had to have liked that matchup. Even if they're not back up, even if they didn't just elevate Dantzler from the practice squad. But when you look at their secondary, Skip, they're predicated on pressure. Danielle Hunter went down with a shoulder injury, and they weren't able to get that constant pressure. Everson Griffin did pretty well. After Ty Smith went down, we have to see what's going to go on with him, Skip.
He had an ankle.
But,
by the way, Trevon Diggs went out late with an ankle that's been plaguing him, but they said he was walking fine after the game. I hope so, for Denver's coming to Dallas.
But at the end of the day, Skip, this was an indictment on Kirk Cousins. This is why they didn't start Dak. I put together a couple of throws. Cousins is more concerned about his completion percentage, because he did a play last night, and Zim is disgusted. I can just tell the way he's watching the game. Look at this. Skip, why would you throw the ball 3 yards behind the line of scrimmage? But this is the play. Look at this, Skip. Look at Thielen. That's Thielen wide open behind him for the first down, and he takes a 4-yard loss. What are you doing, Cousins? Look at this. I'm like, bruh, Skip, what is that? What is that?
What has somebody over here tried to tell you for 5 years about Kirk Cousins? What have I said? What have I said over and over and over again? You're making my case. Thank you for making my case. He is Kirk Cousins. We have always owned him. He is now lucky to be 2-8 against Dallas. Dak is 4-1 against Kirk Cousins. Now, if you give that sort of a Dak Cooper Rush game,
I'm 1-0.
Yeah, he's 1-0.
I'm 1-0
right? 2-8 against Dallas. And that one game that he won at Dallas in the 2018 run, I told you Dak was on fire, and they suddenly started giving the ball to Zeke when they got it down to 2nd and 2 at the 11-yard line going in to win the game.
Skip, I think Minnesota knows. I think Zim knows that. Like you said, you like to give somebody true serum. He knows he can't win a championship with Cousins.
What did I tell you about Kirk Cousins when they paid him all that? Remember, it was $84 million?
Fully guaranteed.
I said the most overpaid quarterback in the history of the National Football League, and he has proven to be just that.
No mercy.
Tom Brady had a season-high 3 turnovers yesterday, including a pick-6 that sealed the victory for New Orleans as the Saints won 36-27. TB12 took responsibility for the loss, telling reporters about the final play, quote, "I think I just threw it to the wrong guy. I had Mike Evans open. It cost us the game." So, Shannon, what percent of the blame do you give Brady for the loss?
90, because he handed the Saints 16 points off those 3 turnovers, Skip. And he said, and the thing is, Brady, he stood up and said, "I cost us this game" with the pick-6. He didn't play his best ball game. He took a strip sack, Skip, and it seemed like he was sitting down there like, it's like...
It wasn't a sack. It was just a strip.
Yeah, well, they push. Yeah. Cam Jordan gets credit for a sack because anytime...
Well, the ball just got knocked loose.
So he pushed, I think it was Tristan Wirth, he pushed him back into Brady, and Brady dropped the ball. And it's just like, your mind is like, let me get this ball, but you can't move. It's like, almost like you're frozen. And Brady was just sitting there like, I see this ball, but I really can't get to it in time. And, 16 points, Skip, off turnovers, 3 of those turnovers, and they scored. I mean, when you lose 36-27, you would have won the ball game, 27-20. And then the 2 turnovers, the pick-6 really sealed it. But I just want to know, hold on, was that Trevor Siemian? You mean to tell me Tom Brady can't beat Trevor Siemian?
Trevor Siemian was pretty good for your Broncos. Do you remember that?
No.
He was 13-11 as a starter for your Broncos. That's pretty good. He threw 30 touchdowns, only 24 interceptions, which is not all that bad. 13-11 as a starter. So why he started a bunch of games for your Broncos?
Why isn't he still there? They've been looking for a quarterback. Now, they didn't have Oswald. They didn't have a lot of quarterbacks since Peyton Manning.
Well, ask John Elway why he's
No. Yeah. I'm asking why Tom Brady couldn't beat Trevor Siemian yesterday. Because what you do every time, Aaron Rodgers, he beat the immortal Caleb Haney.
Yep.
Caleb Haney, he beat the immortal Joe Webb, who masquerades as well.
Who's better, Trevor Siemian or Joe Webb? Trevor Siemian or Caleb Haney? Help me out.
Your guy didn't beat him.
Trevor Siemian is pretty good.
Now he's pretty good. The man has bounced around. This is probably his 4th team. The man has bounced around. He beat Tom Brady. Now he's pretty good.
He was in New Orleans last year learning the system. What did Drew Brees say at halftime last night on NBC? That Sean loves him. Sean believes in him. Sean trusts him.
So why didn't he start with Jameis? He that good. Why didn't he remain in Denver? Why didn't he remain in the other stops that he's been at? If he's as good as what you say.
He's a very good backup quarterback.
Okay, so Tom Brady can't beat backups? I wonder if he shook his hand, because we know when he lose ball games, he don't like to run to the middle of the field and shake hands.
Was Tom Brady playing a backup defense?
Oh, you see, now it's the defense. The
Saints came in number 2 in points allowed.
Is Tom Brady
They looked yesterday like the best defense in pro football.
Is Tom Brady to go? Yes or no?
You don't have to ask me that. I need to ask you that.
Okay, no.
Yeah.
I'm going to get you.
Let me get your answer. Is he the GOAT? Is he the GOAT?
When it's your turn, you can ask me the question.
Well, you obviously know how I feel about it.
No, I want to hear you say it. So Tom Brady's the GOAT. He couldn't beat Trevor Siemian yesterday. The GOAT.
Couldn't beat New Orleans defense that bedeviled him all last year. Do you remember those games at New Orleans last year? Remember what happened?
Here's the thing. But you don't give them any credit. When the defense went back down to New Orleans, had the ball, 4 turnovers, all you raved about was Tom Brady. In the Super Bowl, all you raved about was Tom Brady. The moment he lose, it's Coach Belichick, it's Bruce Arians, it's the defense, it's yada, yada, yada. At some point in time, I want you in Pro Football Focus to hold Tom Brady's feet to the fire with these plays. He cost them the game, period. Now your turn.
90%, says Shannon Sharpe. Shannon Sharpe's in the Hall of Fame. I am not.
90.
I'm going to tell you why. I will give Tom Brady 55% of the blame today. 55-45. Let's see what happens, shall we? Again, against the number 2 defense and the Saints. And Tom Brady and company fell behind 23-7. Why was that happening? Because his vaunted run defense was giving up 152 yards rushing. You didn't mention that, did you, Mr. Sharpe? 152 yards rushing against Tampa? Who does that? Nobody does that except New Orleans did that yesterday. It's a crusher because they controlled the clock. They kept the ball away from Tom Brady, who had only 58 plays, to New Orleans 72 plays yesterday. 58-72. And what did Brady do with only 58 plays? Well, look at this. He was really good because he went 28 of 40 for 375 and 4 touchdowns.
How many plays he had?
58.
He would have had more if he didn't turn the ball over 3 times. Think about how many more plays he would have had.
Could we quickly see the touchdown passes he did throw to get them back in this game? They were down 23-7, and here came Tom Brady. This guy he was on fire yesterday.
Oh, yeah.
The first one. That was sweet. To Godwin. Here's another one. There's never been a better red zone quarterback than Tom Brady. He's now, let's see, how many do you have yesterday? I think he had 3.
3 what?
3 red zone touchdown passes.
Yeah.
So he's now 53 touchdowns and no interceptions in the red zone. That was to Cyril Grayson, the little kid from LSU, the track star.
Yeah.
And they've had to use him because Tom Brady was up against it yesterday because Gronk tried to play and couldn't. So he didn't have Gronk. He didn't have either deep speed receiver. He did not have Antonio Brown. He did not have Scotty Miller.
Scotty Miller ain't been there in 4 weeks, Skip.
And the Tampa Bay defense was still without 2 starting corners. You don't have Murphy Bunting. You don't have Carlton Davis.
Yeah.
And you're playing guys who are just guys who have bounced all around. Pierre Desir, he's on his 8th team.
Yeah.
Ross Cockrell's on his 5th team. They're just guys.
But what about the receivers for the Saints? So when did they turn into Devontae Adams? When did they turn into Tyreek Hill?
Well, they're better than the Tampa corners, I can tell you that.
Come on, Skip. I mean, look, White, the white kid that was in Chicago, the 7th pick in the draft. He's there now in New Orleans.
Yeah, and he caught a big ball yesterday.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, come on. Ross Cockrell, and what did they say on the telecast? That Sean Payton had said before the game, we're going after Ross Cockrell. Who wouldn't go after him?
Right.
Right, he's just some guy.
Oh,
right.
But whoa. Well, Ross Cockrell's been playing all year, and you ain't say anything.
I've said about him. And Pierre Desir and D. Delaney. These are the guys they've been playing because they're without 2 guys who weren't that great to start with.
So let me ask you a question. Even though they got Ross Cockrell, even though they got D. Delaney, even though they got Desir, let me ask you a question. If Tom Brady doesn't turn the ball over, do they win or lose this game?
Okay, he made 2 mistakes, and he is mortal. He made 2 big mistakes yesterday. The first interception was not his fault. I'm going to Bruce Arians. He said that we had a mental error on the route, and I think it was Tyler Johnson. It sure looks like to me, because Tyler Johnson ran his route right in through where Brady was trying to throw the ball. That's not the man in question's defender. That's Tyler Johnson's defender who just sat down and caught the football.
But hold on a second. Here's the thing, though.
He just ran right through it.
I get that. But how does someone that's grading that would know unless he's telling? So Pro Football Focus can't say what Bruce Arians said this was a mistake. If you're grading the tape, you don't know the offense, so you don't know that.
I'm not going to give him a mistake on that one.
Yeah, he got a mistake to pick.
I will give you this. You got to be a little more protective of the ball against their pass rush, which is still hellacious. It still comes from both sides, and it is severe and relentless. And he was under fire more than usual.
He was under fire early. They settled in, and then he got going like after half for a stretch. They didn't get to him. And then once they got that pick 6, the next 2 plays they came out, they went headhunting. They came out, they came to get him.
Okay, and again, I thought Brady put himself in harm's way with that comment he made on Monday Night Football with Peyton and Eli when he said he compared defenders to dogs who chase cars. Well, some dog chased a car right in front of his pick 6 because that was just a bad idea.
Right.
If we could see the pick 6 again, I thought Godwin sort of drifted more downfield than he should have. He thought he was going to square it off and run more of a crossing route. But man, you can't dare the devil here. And P.J. Williams is just sitting there, and he's the backup safety, but he was just sitting and just jumped it.
He had no choice, because here's the thing, Skip. If you go back and run this thing again, they got both crossing routes double. Look at this. They jump one, and then they jump the other on the other side. So he had no choice.
Yeah, but if you see what I mean, Godwin's he's drifting downfield.
Right.
It's a square in route. It's a square cross.
With that safety over the top like that, you're not going to get that completion. No. You're not going to make that. You're not going to make that throw. Sometimes, Skip, you just say, you know what? You sail it over his head, and you live to see what that first down, second down, but you just live to see another day.
Okay, and he did say, I should have gone to Mike Evans, but he was reluctant to go to Mike Evans all day long. He only threw him 4 balls because he's got Lattimore on him, and they're just going nose to nose, and Brady respects Lattimore, and he fears him.
Well, hold on, you know what? Hey, DJ, we got that track because we was playing this track, Mike Evans. Mike Evans had Lattimore on him. Marshawn was doing an unbelievable job. But this is Marshawn Lattimore on Mike Evans. Now, you tell me what happened here, Skip.
I know exactly what happened. They got tangled up, and both of them, Marshawn stumbled, and Mike Evans got slowed down. They get tangled right in the middle of the route, and he lost the step, and Brady threw it on time, and it was a step long.
And Interesting.
Yep.
But you know, it's funny that you say the guy should have did this and the guy should have did that. But all I know is that Mahomes has thrown 2 interceptions and the ball hit Tyreek in the hands and get carried. And you said he has to do a better job. He's gotten too loosey-goosey with the ball.
How many does he have?
He has 8. How many your guy got? 4. So don't make it seem like your guy has none. Your guy got.
Who's had the better year, Brady or Mahomes? Thank you. Case closed. Next question.
Skip, all I'm saying is that you want to give him 55%, but you gave him 80, 90% of the credit when the defense, when you saw what the defense did to Drew Brees last year. You talk about Tom Brady and the 1 or 2 throws. You see what he did. Aaron Rodgers outplayed him in Lambeau, but you talk about what Tom Brady did. Tom Brady had 3 picks, and you talk about he outthrowed him. The problem that I have is that when Tom Brady plays bad, you blame the defense. You blame everybody else but Tom. Why is that?
I just made a great case. It's 55-40. I gave him 55%, but 45 has to go to the rest of the team because do you realize they did have 11 more penalties? They were second in penalty yards coming in. They had 11 for 99, and that wasn't Brady's fault. That was everybody's fault around him. It's hard to overcome 11 penalties on the road.
But here's the thing. They was getting those penalties, but long as they're winning, you didn't have a problem with that. You didn't mention the penalties. That's not what you did. Now, I just want to know, had they not had those 3 turnovers, would they have won the game? Yes.
Let's go to the flashpoint moment for me of the football game. Let's go to the 2-point try that came after a touchdown that with about 5 minutes left. This is to Godwin. It's a little end-around trick play that was going nowhere because it's run way too deep against a fast, smart defense, physical defense. This is not going to score. So help me out here. What does Tom Brady do better than anybody who's ever played the game? He throws it in the red zone. He is a dart thrower. He is a speed reader. And you're telling me that on the crucial 2-point try that's going to give you a 3-point lead instead of a 1-point lead, which would have taken the onus off the last drive because then you know you've got the overtime in your back pocket. You see what I mean?
No, what onus?
Yeah.
No. It's easy to play with it.
Wait. How can you call that? I don't know if it's Byron Leftwich. I don't know if it's Bruce Arians. I don't know who called it. You cannot take the ball out of the GOAT's hand with the game on the line and run some idiotic trick play end around to a guy who's not very fast to start with in Chris Godwin. He's physical, but he's not fast.
But at that point in the time, I had the ball in your hand, and you had to put it in their hands 2 times. So what am I going to do about that?
I don't care about that because he had brought them all the way back to 27-26 up. Now you go up 29-26, and the whole dynamic is going to change for the rest of the game.
I want to know why you were down in the first place.
23-7. How about 152 yards rushing?
Why? So what role did those turnovers play in that?
By the way, Brady did lose to Jameis because Jameis threw a great touchdown pass early. He was on fire early. And I hated to see what happened to him. I'm knocking on wood for him.
It looked bad. I don't know what it is. They haven't revealed what it is, but it didn't look good because it looked like something really buckled.
Torn ACL. It seemed like it.
But Skip, I mean, I'm just trying to figure out what the 2 turnovers, fumble.
You know what he is? He's mortal.
No. That's not what. No. Now he's mortal.
Do you realize?
Every Sunday you come out here and you don't want to hear anything about mortal. That's Tom Brady. He's the GOAT. Okay, now with those 3 turnovers.
Last year the GOAT lost the opener at New Orleans by 11, 34-23, and then that same defense came to Tampa Bay on a Sunday night and beat him 38-3. And if you want to talk about who deserved the blame for a game, let's go to that one, 38-3 Saints.
So he did not get the ball?
Devastating.
Did he not get the ball?
Humiliating.
Did he not get the ball?
When?
I guess when they lost 38-3. So at what point in time
did Tom get the ball? I told you he was terrible. I came out here the next day. I said, you got me. He was terrible.
I get 2020
He played 10 times better yesterday than he played on that Sunday night at Tampa.
2021.
So how can you give him 90% of the blame?
2020 happened. Tom Brady played bad. Tom Brady turned around. They got it going. They won the Super Bowl. But that don't have anything to do with yesterday. With the 3 turnovers at his hand. It wasn't no carom off his hand. It wasn't no drop. It was him. He fumbled the ball.
So are you writing him off for the rest of the year?
No, I wrote him off yesterday. I want to know Trevor Siemian, the GOAT. The GOAT can't beat Trevor. The immortal Caleb Haney, Joe Webb, yada, yada, yada.
Well, you didn't tell me. You didn't answer my question.
What?
Who's better, Trevor Siemian or Joe Webb, who is a receiver playing quarterback in a playoff game against Aaron Rodgers?
So when
a receiver?
That's your question.
Caleb Haney, where is he now? Trevor Siemian or Caleb Haney, who had to play the whole second half against Aaron Rodgers in the NFC Championship game in Chicago because Jay Cutler was on the bicycle. Who was better? And Aaron Rodgers came apart. He unraveled, and they won in spite of Aaron Rodgers and got to the Super Bowl, the only Super Bowl he got to and won.
So
that's all he ever. He is 1-4 in NFC Championship games, and you're trying to defend him? Come on. And against Tom Brady, head-to-head against the GOAT at Lambeau, he finally got an NFC Championship game at Lambeau, and what did he do? He gagged his brains out in the fourth quarter because they had it first and goal at the 8, and he couldn't get it in the end zone, which Brady does like clockwork.
Can I ask you a question? Who's better, Tom Brady or Aaron Rodgers?
Oh, stop it.
Okay, so he should have beat Trevor Siemian then.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. That's all I want to hear you say. That's all I want to hear you say. If he's better,
masterful.
If he's better, if he's what you said he is, he's got to beat Trevor Siemian.
Okay, so I need a prediction from you. Is Tampa going to miss the playoffs?
No,
I need a prediction. They're going to unravel and miss the playoffs because they got a 44-year-old at quarterback that you said 5 years ago should go home because it's over for him.
I got this.
You said it 5 years ago.
I got this prediction. They won't be 17-0. That was my prediction.
Okay, and how about will they get to the? Will they win one playoff game? Will they win one playoff game? I'll tell you what I'll do right here, right now. I will bet you 10. I'll bet you 20 cases of Diet Mountain Dew that they will win one playoff game. Well, you said he's washed up. You said he's done.
That's not what I said. All I said yesterday, he was 90% responsible for that loss.
Okay.
You want to put it on the defense. You want to put it on everybody else. But this is what I don't understand. When they win, you never give the defense credit. It's Brady. When they lose, you look for everybody else to blame. They've been playing with Desir. They've been playing with D. Delaney. Carlton Davis, Murphy Bunting hadn't been there, and Murphy Bunting got hurt the first week. Carlton Davis has been gone 3 weeks, and they've been winning, and you haven't mentioned the secondary.
Who are his two favorite targets? Rob Gronkowski and Antonio Brown. His two favorite. He plays without him, plays every week.
And without him.
It was
without him.
It was incredible what he did yesterday to get them back in the game. He threw 4 touchdown passes against what's arguably the hottest defense in pro football.
This is what I don't get. He's been putting up these numbers without Gronk, without Antonio Brown. And the moment he lose, that's why he lost. But you didn't say anything with it when they didn't have him.
Well, this was high degree of difficulty.
He's the GOAT.
This is Halloween in the Superdome. Crowd's out of its mind. It was raucous, loud, crazy, and it's hard.
Was he playing the Saints or Miss Rudolph?
And
did they have the curse on him? Did they have the root?
Yeah.
Did they have the root on his skill?
And he insulted defensive players everywhere, including Demario Davis. Took a shot at me on Twitter last night, which I deserved. That's fine.
What happened?
Okay, that's fine. But Demario Davis was insulted by what Tom Brady said, and I don't blame him. I came right out here, right out of the gate on Tuesday's show, and I said, Tom Brady cannot say that. You weren't that hard about it. But I said, he is asking for trouble.
Yes, Skip. What I said is that he felt comfortable with Peyton and Eli. I truly believe he feels that way 1,000%. And when you comfortable around someone, Skip, you're more apt to speak freely.
Hey.
That's what I said. I didn't say I agreed with what he was saying because I don't.
You can't say that on the eve of a game against Cam Jordan and Demario Davis and Marshawn Lattimore and company because they're really good on defense.
They are good, but all I'm saying, Skip, is this. When they win, you never mention any of those auxiliary guys, only when they lose to obfuscate, to place the blame on them other than where it should be, at the feet of Tom Brady. This game, he gagged it. I'm not saying I don't know what he's going to do moving forward, but this game, he gagged it. What was his QBR? You got his QBR over there?
62.
Oh, that good?
That's pretty good. It's a little, it's better than average, which is 50. He was pretty good.
Well, that's what he was yesterday. Yeah. A little better than average. There you go. I appreciate you telling that.
Well, that's why I gave him 55% of the blame.
No.
Well, he at least owned it
Brady
himself.
hate is so thick over here. I'm about to suffocate.
I feel
Ain't no hate.
I'm far away from you guys, I feel like. Curious about this. Do we have any Baker hate going on? I don't know.
Yeah,
Baker Mayfield and the Browns lost 15-10 to the Steelers yesterday, and speculation continues to swirl that Cleveland could move on from Odell Beckham Jr. before tomorrow's trade deadline. OBJ only had 1 catch for 6 yards, but Baker didn't have much success with any of his receivers, finishing with 0 touchdowns and only 225 yards. Shannon, what % of the blame do you give Baker for the loss?
90. I feel like 90. I'm getting A's today. 90.
When you talk like that, I know your heart's not in it.
Oh, my heart's in it. Okay. Hold on. The Steelers scored 15 points. They didn't have their field goal kicker the entire second half. You, Baker Mayfield. Skip Bayless told me Baker Mayfield graded Pro Football Focus, graded Baker Mayfield the 3rd best quarterback over the second half of the season. And he couldn't give but 10 points at home against a team that didn't have a field goal kicker. You couldn't score but 10 points? And you go to, oh, Baker. This is what we know about Baker Mayfield. He's now 3-11 in his career when the Browns don't reach 100 yards. He's lost 8 of his last 9. So you tell me this is a Baker-driven team or this is a Nick Chubb, Kareem Hunt-driven team, offensive line-driven team? At the end of the day, you can dress it up all you want to, but you told me this is a quarterback league. And the reason why the quarterback should be they should occupy the top 25 spots on the top 100 is because he's the most valuable. But I want to know your value in that guy because he does more commercials than he throws touchdowns. I see him every week with a new one.
I do too.
But whoa. That throw to Odell. Odell, I see you. I saw you on Twitter. Odell, you got to make that play.
You saw my Twitter? You stalked me on Twitter.
Ain't nobody stalking you. Ain't nobody stalking you. You know good and well Odell wasn't supposed to catch that ball.
Oh, are you kidding me?
Yeah, if he had a first baseman mitt, he probably could have caught it.
Are you kidding me? What's Odell's line about Odell? I'm like Purell. I work 99.9% of the time, right?
Yeah.
My hands are they're Purell hands.
Well, guess what?
What does he do before every game? He puts on a Globetrotter show of circus catches, right?
Yeah.
Well, if you're that guy, you got to catch that ball.
No.
Are you kidding me? This is for the game. Odell, have some courage. Have some guts.
No.
Come on, diva.
No, Baker. You told me Baker's accurate.
He should be wearing a yellow jersey on that one. Oh, come on. He like slows up and goes awkward on it. It's right there. He tried to make it like, I'm kind of out of sync here. I don't know if I don't want to get hit. He doesn't want to get him out of here. Get him out of Baker's sight. Every time Baker has to play with him, things go south. I'm sorry. He's the worst thing that ever happened to Baker Mayfield. And that stretch you're talking about last year, down the stretch when they went 8-3 over 11 games, and Baker had 20 touchdowns to 3 interceptions, and they beat Pittsburgh at Pittsburgh in a playoff game. It was all without Odell. He was hurt. God bless him. I'm sorry he got hurt at Cincinnati. I'm going to knock on wood for him that he's going to be 100%. But he was gone. And when I heard when this game started, this is the first time this year that it's been Baker and Chubb and Odell and Jarvis together in the starting lineup, I said, they're done. Because there's something about Odell. Either Baker doesn't throw him enough balls or he throws him way too many balls. And yesterday he threw him 2. It only registered 1 in the sheet because it was 1 target for 6 yards because there was a roughing the passer on the play in question. But if he had gone up and snatched that ball the way he should have, they're going to have it 1st and goal at the 3 maybe?
Hit me between the 1 and the 3.
No, hit me right there. Hit me right there in the hands. Put it right here where I can go right there and catch it.
1-3.
This is what I'm paid to do. Is I'm supposed to go up between the 2 safeties and just snag the ball.
He protected. There ain't no reason for this ball to be high.
There's
no reason.
That is the sweetest throw. That is perfect. I don't want to get hit. Please don't hit me.
Look at this pocket. Look at this pocket, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah. No, it's great, and it's a perfect throw. You couldn't throw it. Shannon Sharpe catches that in his teeth.
I don't know.
In his teeth, he catches that. Are you kidding me?
Man, Shannon Sharpe ain't played in 17 years.
Okay, and I want to reiterate to everybody, Shannon Sharpe, the Hall of Famer, just gave Baker 90% of the blame for this game. Can we see what really happened down the stretch of this game? Let's start with 7:24 left. It's 3rd and 4 at the Pittsburgh 39. And what does Baker do? He takes off. And guess what, ladies and gentlemen? He's playing with a cracked shoulder on top of a torn labrum, and he goes and takes a shot that Odell would never take. Took it on the sideline, got knocked completely to the bench, jumped up.
Jump up.
Yeah, jump. And get the whole crowd fired up, get his team fired up, because here they go.
Okay, so he ain't hurt. So he good now. Let's go. Let's go. Come on, baby. You got us going. Now let's go. What was the next play?
2 plays later, he throws it to Jarvis for 11 yards. If we could see this, down to the Pittsburgh 21. And what does Jarvis do? Help me out here. This is Baker's fault, of course. He hits Jarvis, and he fumbles. And he loses the fumble, and that's Baker's fault, right? It was a terrible throw. I don't know. He put him in harm's way.
Oh, there you go. So now you being facetious now. Now you being facetious.
Okay, I think it was a really good throw for another first down.
Skip, the man fumbled the ball.
Okay, so now let's go down to they held a 3 and out. Now let's go down to 3:03 left. It's 1st and 10 at the Cleveland 39, and he throws it to Jarvis again. Nice throw, and Jarvis dropped it. But it's all Baker's fault. 90% Baker hits him right in the hands, and he drops it.
See what you did?
Lord have mercy. So this game was hard for me to watch.
Time out, Skip.
Is this not a drop?
Yeah, it was a drop. It was a drop.
Thank you. So we got a fumble, and then we got a drop, right?
Yes. But here's the thing. All you showing is highlights in a very spot. So what happened the first quarter, second quarter, third quarter?
I haven't finished yet. This is the game on the line.
Oh, this is not a game on the line. It shouldn't even been that close.
This is when Baker, you say he can't get him home. He was trying and trying. Let's see the Odell throw one more time, because it came next. It's 2nd and 10.
What Odell throw?
It's the next play. The next play.
You're going to show it again?
Little play action. Odell, you have to go up and catch this ball. It's for the football game. If you just go up and catch it, you're going to have 1st and goal at the 3, and you're going to win the football game.
Whoa.
You're going to beat your arch rival at home, as you should have.
That ain't no rivalry. Ben Roethlisberger had only lost like 2 times to y'all. That ain't no rivalry.
So then we come down to the final big play of the game. It's 4th and 12 at the 26-yard line. And if we could see this deep in-cut throw by Baker Mayfield to one Jarvis Landry, he dropped another one. It's gold. You got it right in your hands. You got another shot. You might just win the game after this.
That was a great play.
This is clutch. Baker Mayfield came up as clutch as a quarterback can come up clutch down the stretch over the last 7:24. And I just showed you 3 huge drops by Jarvis Landry, a lost fumble by Jarvis Landry, and a chicken out yellow play by the diva who is Odell Beckham Jr.
Whoa. Time out.
Put a yellow jersey on him and ship him out. He's got to go by tomorrow. You think he needs to go just to change his scenery. Maybe that's it. But Baker needs him out of sight and out of mind.
So I granted, Odell dropped Odell. You said it was a drop. I thought the ball should have been thrown a little better. Jarvis did have had the fumble and had 2 drops. But that was in let's just say a 4-minute span in the 4th quarter. So what happened in the 1st, 2nd, and 3rd quarter? Do you have any highlights from Baker? No.
Okay.
Exactly.
Would these throws have all contributed to winning the game?
You shouldn't have been in the spot. You should have been in the spot.
Are you getting...
Shouldn't have been this way. That's Baker!
I saw 2 really good defenses yesterday. I saw New Orleans and I saw Pittsburgh. And if you're going to tell me Pittsburgh's not a good defense, then I don't have any idea about football.
No. I'm not saying that.
They got after Baker. He's out there. He deserves an A for his performance just for sucking it up and going out there, because it was highly debatable whether he should go out. He's got a cracked shoulder on top of a torn labrum. It's his left shoulder. But if you know anything about throwing a football, it's hard to throw it across your left shoulder and have that pain shoot through you.
And what you want to do is that you want to see, I think they did it right. I think my generation was the last generation that had the perfect attendance, that you got certificates and you got stars for perfect attendance. Perfect attendance doesn't do you any good if you're not a good student. So what? I come every day, but I'm failing the class. Baker showed up there. Did he deliver? Did he give you an A performance?
Yes.
That's what I need to know, Skip Bayless. No.
Yes, he did.
You keep telling, Skip, you keep telling me. I just want to know what happens when they can't run the football. If we can, they say, you know what? Nick Chubb, Kareem Hunt is hurt. Nick Chubb, we're not going to let you run the football. What was the guy that ran all over?
D'Ernest.
D'Ernest Johnson. We're not going to let you do what you did against the Broncos on the Thursday night. Baker, deliver them. And what happened?
They won't let anybody do it because they're really good on defense. And I've been telling you, Pittsburgh is legit. Pittsburgh is coming. You have scoffed. You have laughed. You have ridiculed the Steelers, starting with the quarterback. And I said, no.
The man scored 15
they're
points.
Really good.
Skip, Ben Roethlisberger, stop it. Scored 15 points yesterday. But anyway, hold on. In order for you to take away something, you have to give up something. So if you commit that many guys to stopping the run, that means you got to be able to throw the football. You see what Minnesota did? Minnesota committed to stopping the run. You had to sacrifice the edges. Okay, if people shut down the run, they got to be playing man coverage on the outside.
Yep, that's why Baker was 20 of 31 for 225 yards with 4 huge drops. And I got to give Odell, make it 5.
Oh, man, there you go.
Odell has to catch that ball.
You go, man.
He puts on circus act performances before the game. People would pay money to watch him one-hand catch balls, and you can't catch that one. He made what most people thought was the greatest catch in the history of football against my Dallas Cowboys in his rookie year on, what was it, Sunday night football. And you can't catch that?
No.
No, you can't because you're going to get hit.
Oh, there you go. So you try to say, are you saying the man was scared?
Yes, I am. I've been saying they should put him in a yellow jersey.
You ought to be ashamed of yourself.
No,
Skip.
I ought to be truthful, and I'm being truthful.
What about your guy? What you got him in between the 1 and the 3? 1-3, baby. That's what it's got there for us, Skip. That's a bullseye on the inside of 1-3.
Was
Hit me right
Baker
there.
afraid of getting hurt on that scramble, getting hit? Nope.
Ah, man, stop it.
Well, I don't know. Cracked shoulder, torn labor.
Okay, so
I got this.
He went out. He went out there. What did he do? So you only get credit. You only become the hero if you win the day. You don't get to be the hero. Ulysses S. Grant is the hero, not Stonewall Jackson.
As Giselle once said about her husband, my husband can't catch the pass as well as throw it. Right? Baker can't catch the pass as well as throw it.
It don't look like he can throw him very well either. It don't look like he's throwing him very well.
I think I got you on this one.
No, you don't.
90% of the blame.
When you can't run the football. At some point in time, Skip, whether it's a fake narrative or not, the people are talking. Baker Mayfield in the fourth quarter leading these Browns back. Can't get it done. Now, whether it's true or not, I'm not here to dispute that. I don't know.
He got it done yesterday.
No, he did not. He had 10 points. The other team had 15. If the other team had 9, you're right. But they didn't.
Maybe he needed Shannon Sharpe to actually catch some passes yesterday.
Because I can't do all that showboating. You ain't finna do all this running up and down the sideline. No, we ain't finna do that.
I feel like you could handle that.
No, I can't do that, Jenny. Can't do that.
No mercy.
The Lakers got 2 wins this weekend to improve to 4-3 on the season, while Melo was on fire from 3 over the weekend, going 11 for 16. LeBron had a couple of poor shooting nights, going a combined 1 for 16 from distance during the victories against Cleveland and Houston. So, Shannon, I ask you first, how concerned are you about LeBron's shooting struggles?
Skip, I'm not concerned about it. I just think he got out of rhythm. Those last 2 games that he missed, Skip, he was in a great rhythm to start the season. Missed a couple of games and hadn't been able to get back in rhythm. He is 89 from the free throw line. Looking real good for about 73%. Get my due back that I've been waiting for so long. Skip, look, for me, watching the last 2 games, the turnovers are still an issue for me, and they're settling. I look at it last night. I think they shot 13 free throws last night. The opposing team shot 29. And they were 15 to 29. Had they been better from the free throw line, who knows? We might be having a different ball game. Because what at one point, Skip, with a 28-point lead, somehow got whittled all the way down to like 10. And that's what's concerning about me, is that they're settling a lot more than I think they should. I think on Bron's part, Skip, they're not calling it. Maybe they're going to the Olympic rules. Maybe they're going to international rules, Skip, with the ticky-tack stuff. They're not calling anymore. And LeBron is getting hammered. LeBron thinks he's getting fouled, and they're not calling it. So it's deterring him from going. But I need him to have the same mindset as James Harden. James Harden said, I'm going to make you call it. Because I'm going to keep going to the lane. I'm going to keep going. And eventually, y'all going to see I'm not flailing. But LeBron is getting frustrated. Look, they're not shooting the ball other than Melo. Melo saved them. Friday night, Melo came to the rescue. Again, last night, he was hot as fish grease again. Melo shooting 52% from 3. The rest of the team is 34%. AD is 18%. Russ is 25%. if they can take care of the basketball, Skip, that's the problem, is that you're having too many empty possessions and you're giving up too many easy baskets. That's how Cleveland was able to hang around as long as they were. 22 turnovers, 7 in the first quarter, 14 in the first half. Took care of the third and fourth, locked down defensively. We see them come out engaged last night, defensively, Skip, race out, forcing Houston to turn the ball over. I don't think Houston's a very good team, but hey, forced the turnovers, and then all of a sudden, here come the fourth quarter, Skip. We get careless, and the Rockets get back in it. But I'm not concerned about LeBron. Tuesday night, he'll probably be, I want something right now. 4 threes right now, Tuesday. LeBron make 4 threes.
Houston is a G League team, and
you
get to play them back-to-back at home. Who made this schedule, LeBron?
4 threes.
12 of your first 15 games are at home, and your first 2 road games are at San Antonio and Oklahoma City. Who made this schedule? LeBron. Thank you very much.
So that means we're going to have a lot of games late in the season
Shannon
on the road.
Sharpe, you continue to duck and dodge the truth.
What? The truth?
The truth is your team from the start has had a Russell Westbrook problem.
But that wasn't the question.
Now added onto that is a LeBrick problem because LeBron James, I want to drive this home to our faithful viewers. He is 1 of his last 16 from 3. That is very hard to be 1 of 16. That was 1 of 10 on Friday night.
Yes.
And 0 for 6 last night.
Yes.
And if we could please see what those misses look like. First on Friday night. This is LeBron on Friday night. Whoops. LeBron on Friday night. Here we go again. A little short. LeBron on Friday night. LeBron, they're daring you.
Normally make that one, Skip.
I know. They're daring you. LeBron, you got this one right. Whoops. LeBrick. LeBron, corner. Oh, you can make those corner threes. That's that short corner. No, a little short. LeBron, you got this.
Oh, you dribbled that? Oh, that's a free throw.
Whoops, a little short. He's a little long, he's a little short. LeBron, you got this one for sure. Bang, brick off the back iron. LeBron, that one's pretty contested. Short, I'll give you that one. LeBron.
What was that one he made?
God.
What was that one he made Friday night?
Oh, he's huffing and puffing.
What was that one he made Friday night?
He made a logo 3. If we could see this on Friday night, and fittingly, it was the only 3 he made. Out of 10, he made a logo 3. Here it is. Kick it
Call
back.
Anna winner.
He said, I got this.
Hold that Vogue.
Hold the pose.
That's that Vogue.
I am 1 of 10, but I am holding this pose.
That's that Vogue. That's the Anna winner. That's that Vogue pose, Skip. Right there. Look at that.
Vogue, as Madonna said. Way to go. Now, could we please see 6 misses from last night? I want people to understand just how bad this is getting. Let's see the 6 misses from last night's game against the G League Houston Rockets. Whoops, a little long from that short corner. LeBron, he shot that one with conviction, and he LeBricked off the back iron. LeBron, go right up into it. I got this one lip.
That look good, Skip. You got to admit they looking good, though, Skip. They looking good.
Highly contested, and
that one didn't look good. But Skip, this look good.
Okay.
I thought that was
highly contested back iron.
That's all right.
Now daring short. LeBron. 1 of 16. So the story goes that once upon a time, LeBron and Carmelo Anthony were on vacation as they go together with Chris Paul and I don't know who else goes, but everybody goes on vacation.
D-Wade.
Yeah, D-Wade goes. And Melo was swimming in the ocean current. It got caught up a little bit, and LeBron had to jump off the yacht they were on to go save him.
Yeah, that's what he did. That's what
I don't know
do.
if it's apocryphal or not, but that's how the story goes.
Right.
Well, Carmelo has slightly paid him back. Slightly paid him back.
In the regular season?
Yeah, I know. Regular season, because Carmelo, unbelievably, has been 11 of 16 on Friday night and last night. And I got to tell you, he took LeBron off the hook with all those threes, because it's unbelievable what was happening, because they're only up on Cleveland by 3 going to the fourth quarter. And here came Carmelo just going crazy, making threes in the fourth quarter. He was just outstanding in the fourth quarter. And last night, would you believe that Houston cut it all the way from 28 in the fourth quarter down to 11 with 4 minutes left, because Kenyon Martin's kid just went crazy, made 6 of 7 shots. And here came Carmelo again, making a big 3. He's like unconscious hot. He shoots it quicker than anybody I've ever seen. It's just like quick shooting.
He greenlit. He greenlit when Melo comes in. Oh, he greenlit. He's ready to go.
Could we actually see what those shots are looking like? We've got Carmelo on Friday night.
Carmelo Anthony.
Every time it leaves his hand, I said, that's good. This is the flip side of LeBron James right now.
Get that thing to Melo.
Please, thank you. Thank
you know what it is, Skip.
There's a lot of swishing going on here, too. We're not missing them. Yeah, it's just pure. We're nothing but the bottom of the net.
That's Melo. Skip, the man, the ninth all-time lead scorer. You think he can shoot the ball? Come on now.
I haven't seen this kind of shooting. And then we got last night, if we could. Last night against the G Leaguers.
There you go.
Well, he just keeps going.
Look at the Melo in the corner.
Yeah. I mean, the crowd, you can just see the crowd rise as soon as he gets the ball in his hand. The crowd's coming up.
What about the pass, Skip?
Yes.
Look at that. Look at that pass right there, Skip.
Yes. He got fouled. Yes. Well, don't do that. Don't leave him that open. Jalen Green, my man Jalen Green's off to a rocky start. He's
Cade Cunningham got off to the rookie start.
Okay, well, maybe all these rookies are off to a rocky start. But speaking of rocky starts, after a hot start, guess what your man LeBron is doing? He is averaging 9 3-point attempts per game. He had a career-high 6.3 last year and 6.3 the year before. Yeah. And I thought that was high because I told you he's now chasing Kareem with threes versus twos because now he's only attempting 11 twos per game, which is by far a career low.
Right.
So he's career-high in 3-point attempts. And yet he's now tailed off to 33%. Yeah. He's a career 34.5. So he has regressed to the mean and sunk below.
Skip, we only 6 games into the 7 games in.
Okay. Do you like this 9 attempts per game? Because it's ridiculously high.
Well, if they're going to leave
it's going to hurt them long term.
I would like it if the officials called more fouls. But that's what I would really like. But let me show you what this guy. Look, you got that? We got that track, DJ? It's a special track.
What is it?
This right here. This right here, year 19.
Yeah, Twitter went crazy.
Woo! Yeah. Skip, that year 19.
Well, that's what trended on Twitter. Were you jumping in on that one?
Yeah, I did. Skip, look at this, Skip. How you me? Come on now. Come on, Skip. You saw this, right?
Okay, so help me out. Why wouldn't you drive the basketball more if you can still do that? Why would you pull up and jack up threes like a maniac?
Because they're not calling that. Skip, you saw we got an and one on Evan Mobley, what you call him, and LeBron applauded to the official and one. You saw the man hacking. When they replayed it, you saw it. They're not calling it. So I'm getting frustrated that I'm getting fouled and you're not calling it. I'm expending all this energy. And I'm not getting rewarded for my efforts. So you're relegating me to shooting threes.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's how it goes.
You forced me to do it.
So you're off to a career low pace from 2 from the field, 44%. Now you're a career low pace for threes, 33%. And you're at a career high pace for turnovers. You're up to 4.2%.
Yes, we're turning the ball over entirely too much.
You had 7 on Friday night.
But I'm looking at it, the last 3 games. The Lakers had shot 13 free throws last night. They shot 10 on Friday night. They shot 14 and lost to OKC. That's not nearly enough. So that tells me they're selling for the jumpers. I agree with you. They should put the ball. AD needs to be more at the rim. Need to get more buckets going towards the basket and not selling for the perimeter. Sometimes he can fall in love with the perimeter and the 3. He's shooting 18%. Russ is 25%. LeBron. But as a team, they're 38%, which is 6th best in the NBA. Thanks to Melo.
Well, guess what Melo contributed last night beyond just the 3-point shooting?
Playing defense, blocking shots left
He
and
had
right.
4 shot blocks. 4? You're kidding me. And 2 steals? He hadn't done that since his rookie year in a game against LeBron.
Hungry. Hungry.
Well, he's saving his man LeBron.
But there you
he's like
you
the
can't
whole
save
show.
somebody with 7 games into the 82 game season.
Like it, but I'm going to give you this, and we'll talk more about it tomorrow. But LeBron has figured out, this is his 568th career free throw routine that he's tried. But I love this one. He did miss one last night, but I love it that he takes a deep breath. He holds the ball on his side with one hand. Then he goes deep knee bend and just shoots it. I'm sorry, one hard dribble, just one hard dribble, and then just lets it go.
Right.
And the ones he made on Friday night, he was 5 for 5. They were as pure of free throws as I've ever seen him shoot to make 5. So I give you a little better chance of winning your do bet on 70,
I'm gonna win my 3-point
76%.
I'm going to win a lot of bets from you this year in basketball.
Really?
Yep.
Well, you're not off to the races.
No, I'm not up to the races in football, but at basketball, it's a bit different story.
Okay, well, it's a long season, and I like the way I'm trending.
Well, okay, I'm glad you finally admit it's a long season because you already over there ready to panic after 7 games. We got 75 more of these things, baby.
One of his last 16, and you call him the GOAT? Seriously? Lord,
All right.
have mercy.
No mercy.
Dak Prescott missed last night's game with his nagging calf injury, which surprised many fans and media members since the QB still did his full pregame warm-up for more than a half hour. Still, Prescott was inactive for the matchup despite flying to Minnesota, and backup Cooper Rush got the win for Dallas. However, during the broadcast, we heard a bit more about the severity of Dak's injury. Take a listen.
2 weeks ago in the win at New England, Dak Prescott felt a pop in his right calf after throwing a touchdown pass to CeeDee Lamb on the game's final play. And remember, it was week 5 of last season when he suffered an ankle dislocation and fractured fibula on the same side. And Dak said perhaps the lack of mobility in his ankle contributed to this injury, a tear in the belly of the calf. Now, it's an important muscle responsible for pushing off the ground when throwing and running. Typically, this injury needs about 4 weeks to heal, but no timetable has been set for Dak yet.
I thought that was really interesting from Tafoya there, that report. Shannon,
What?
in your opinion, what's going on here?
Well, Skip, we know this, Skip. Normally, if you have something, you would affect something else. So lack of mobility in the ankle area, all of a sudden you don't get full range of motion in the calf. The calf becomes tight, and then all of a sudden you're more susceptible for injuring the calf. It's just like anything. You got a sore knee, you start compensating, then you mess your hip up, then you mess your ankle up, you mess your back up. And maybe that's what happened with Dak. But Jerry Jones told me, Skip, what was his word? Jerry said that's not even a thought.
Not a thought. And Shannon Sharpe told me that we did scale of 1 to 10, how much faith do you have in Dak starting on Sunday night? And you were a 10.
I was a 10.
And I told you I had my doubts all week.
You had your doubt. But I'm going on Dr. Jones. Dr. Jones had seen the imagery. He had seen the MRI, the CAT scan, or whatever else they run, ultrasound, whatever they had done. I'm sure Jerry Jones was impressed to what. So he put out faulty information. So now I can't take him at his word anymore, Skip. But I think this was more about Cousins. I think they said, you know what? We can win this game without Dak, and we can give him an extra week because remember, Skip, they were coming off the bye. He did some work, and then so they probably, who knows? They play the Broncos this Sunday. They might even give him another week.
They might.
This offense is good enough. Now, I don't know. We're going to find out when they start playing the upper tier, they make it to the playoffs, which they will because they're in that division, but they seem to have a very good football team. When you play, say, the Rams, or you play the Bucs, or you play one of these upper-tier teams, the Packers or the Cardinals, a team that can score points, you can't beat them with Cooper Rush. And you need a healthy Dak Prescott because he's going to need to be able to get out of harm's way. And I think they thought that, you know what, if we play Dak, he can get around. But what happens if Zimmer starts to heat him up? I don't want him to stress that calf any more than he has to. And because it's Kirk Cousins, I believe we can beat them without Dak. And so they erred on the side of caution, gave him an extra week. Would I be surprised knowing what we know and hearing Michelle Tafoya explain it the way she did? Would I be surprised if he didn't start this week? No, I would not.
No,
Skip.
you would not.
No, I would not be surprised at all. So give him as much time as that he needs to make sure this thing, because Skip, you don't want this thing to linger because you believe, Troy believes, and a lot of people believe that this is as good a chance as they have of getting to and possibly winning the Super Bowl since '95.
Yes, sir.
And you don't want to be derailed with a nagging calf injury.
Okay. Allow me to start by saying Michelle Tafoya has extreme credibility.
Yes.
I have the highest regard for her reporting in the NBC Sunday night telecast. First-rate, top drawer. So when they go with something this strongly, I am all ears. And when I heard this...
Had the diagram and everything.
I got to tell you, I fell on the floor. I was like, what?
Because we had never heard pop, Skip. We didn't
hear pop, but we didn't hear tear. We heard strain. He strained it. It's going to be just fine.
And I could have continued to play if needed to.
Pop, tear. Tear is bad.
It is.
And she said 4-week injury. It is. It's at least a 4-week injury.
Because that's at least what Michael Gallup had to have had. He's been out almost 8 weeks.
Thank you. And no end in sight. So now I segue to what Chris Collinsworth said later in the telecast. He said, I'm paraphrasing, You know, I watched Dak warm up. USA Today reported he warmed up for 38 minutes at high voltage, like he was moving around, and we saw it. We see him in pregame. I'm not saying he's going 1,000%, but he's pushing off.
Right, yes.
And Chris Collinsworth asked the question. First he said, when I saw him working out pregame, going through his routine, Chris said, silly me, I thought he was going to start the game.
Right.
And then they heard just before kickoff, just a few minutes before kickoff, no. Okay, so help me out here, because I wondered the same thing Chris voiced, which was, if it's pop and tear in 4 weeks, what are you doing?
Right.
Why are you out there?
Yeah, I don't think it can't be that serious if he's doing that.
Why are you threatening it?
Right.
Right? Okay, so now we're back to Crazy Jerry. I love Jerry with all my heart and soul, and I spent so many hours around him, but he can be a little off sometimes. And to me, between him and Mike McCarthy, I've told you from the start, this team is going to have to win in spite of them.
Yes.
Because they both want to puff up and show you they're the smartest man in the room, and they want to show the rest of the NFL, we got this. We know how to do this. I believe it wasn't just about Kirk Cousins. It may have been a little bit about that. But the Vikings have been playing pretty well. They should have won at Arizona. Their kicker missed a 37-yard field goal that could have walked them off with a win at Arizona. That would be highly impressive. And they've had their moments. Yeah. And they're at home. It's a raucous Halloween night crowd. And I'm thinking, you know, this is pretty scary. Could be scary. Right. But what I think they were paying the most attention to is the team they fear the most, the team that you thought had the best shot at Dallas, was Washington. Right. And Washington had just lost at Broncos to Teddy Bridgewater. Right. Very low scoring. What was it, 17-10? 17-10. Well, they fell to 2-6. And I think Jerry's saying, we got this. Right?
Right.
What do we care?
And he's anticipating the Giants losing tonight to Kansas City.
Obviously he would. And Philly had won, but it was, you said earlier, it's just Detroit, so not a shocking win there. So I think they just sat back and said, why should we risk it? Well, I ask you back, why did you risk having him work out before the game at all? Because that's just wrong. Right. That's just silly Jerry, you know, letting him work out. But could Dak have played last night? I assume if it was a playoff game, he would have just sucked it up and gone. Would he have re-injured, aggravated? I don't know. Maybe.
Or a chance to get the #1 seed.
Okay.
Or the chance to be the #2 seed, Skip. You know what I'm saying? To avoid. Because the thing is, it's all about matchups. If all things being equal, Skip, I'm trying to dodge the Rams. I'm trying to potentially dodge the Buccaneers. Agree? Let me get one of them wild card teams. Let me get one of these wild card teams. I'm not trying to see Arizona or the Rams or the Green Bay or the Bucs in the first round.
And they got a break yesterday. The Bucs lost.
The Bucs lost.
Brady threw a pick six. They lost at New Orleans, and all of a sudden they fall to 2 losses. Correct. And Dallas is still sitting there at 1, and they're saying, we got a shot. Right. Okay. They got away with Cooper Rush, but they don't think they just got away with him. They flourished with him. Yes. He threw the winning touchdown pass on the road. So they're saying, you know what? We raised him. He's one of our own. Yeah. We'll show you, right? Yeah. And now I will not be surprised if they say, you know what? Denver, we got this. Teddy Bridgewater, we got this. Our defense is playing at a high level. We can hold Teddy to maybe 14 points. Right. We can figure out a way to score 17 or 20 on Denver's defense.
And Cooper Rush, Skip, the man ain't throw for 240. The man ain't throw for 200. He's barely 200. The man threw for 325. They and 2 touchdowns.
Feeling themselves today. They are full of themselves about, we got Cooper Rush. We just showed the world we got Cooper. Why not put Dak on ice one more time here? Right. Then they got another home game against Atlanta, who lost again yesterday, and they just looked pathetic. I thought Kyle Pitts was going to be a monster. He had one monster game yesterday, disappeared again. So my point is, they're looking at Denver and Atlanta. We got this, right?
Yeah. So, I wouldn't be surprised if he sits out both of those games.
It wouldn't shock me, but who knows? All I know, it all feels meant to be.
Yes.
Thank you.
Your chances go up exponentially if you got 4 in the center come playoff time. Yep. Skip, as good as you guys are, I don't believe you can beat any of the possible teams you play. Maybe the first round. Yep. But if you get the Rams, you get the Buccaneers, you're not beating them with Cooper Rush, Skip. No. You're just not.
Well, obviously not. And I beat the table over here for weeks Go sign Cam Newton. We're going to talk about Cam in a few minutes here. But the point was, Jerry said, no, I got this. We got a homegrown here.
Right.
We got
Yeah.
Cooper Rush.
Yeah.
Watch what we do.
And a lot of teams like to do, Skip, a lot of teams like to do that. A guy that's been in my system 2, 3 years, 4 years, he knows the system. We've got tremendous talent around him. We're not asking him to do a whole lot, Skip.
Yeah. Hey, I've watched a whole lot of Cooper Rush in preseason games.
Right.
Up and down, hit and miss.
Yes.
I'm going to be scared to death if they go with Cooper Rush against Denver because Denver's defense is still very good to me.
But Skip, it scared you because, hold on, he was with Jason Garrett. Jason Garrett brought him with him to New York.
He did.
And all of a sudden, Jason Garrett cut him.
Nope, he did.
Like, hold on, you brought me here. You mean to tell me? So I'm sure that gave you some cause to pause. But I thought he played really well. Not great. But he made some big-time throws when he needed to make them. He didn't miss Cedric Wilson. He didn't miss Amari Cooper on that touchdown. And that's all you can ask for.
No mercy.
Tom Brady had a season-high 3 turnovers yesterday, including a pick-6 that sealed the victory for New Orleans as the Saints won 36-27. TB12 took responsibility for the loss, telling reporters about the final play, quote, "I think I just threw it to the wrong guy. I had Mike Evans open. It cost us the game." So he owned the mistake. Shannon, how about you give Brady a letter grade for yesterday?
Failure. Failure. Flunk.
Oh, whoa.
Yeah. F.
As in foolish?
F.
Foolish grade by Shannon Sharpe?
Hold on. You do realize just, what was that, Monday night, this is the same Saints team that scored 13 points against Seattle.
In the rain and the wind.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Guess what? The other team was in the rain and the wind also. It wasn't like they were in a phone booth and the other team was getting rained on. They were getting rained on also. Let's talk about so I'm just saying, you scored 27 points. How many touchdowns? Let me go make sure I got my notes right because I don't want to misspeak. I hate misspeaking on TV because people don't let you forget it. Tom Brady, 28 of 40, 375, sacked 3 times, 4 touchdowns. 2 INTs, 1 fumble loss. 16 points, 4 Saints. They scored 36. So if I take those 16 away, take the 1, take this up 0, 2, that means they'd have had 20. Tampa Bay, Tom Brady threw a touchdown, threw 4 touchdowns. So at best case, that's 28. They win the ball game, 28-20. I don't really know how else we get around that, Skip Bayless. And second more, Trevor Siemian played from the second quarter, early in the second quarter, all the way through. The GOAT couldn't be Trevor Siemian. The guy that he was great. He did this. He been all a lot of different places. Denver. I think he went to the Jets. I think I'd have been on like 3 teams. Right? Been on 3 teams.
I just remember he was 13-11 as a starter for the Denver Broncos. Your Denver Broncos. That's pretty good.
Let me see how I break this to you without disappointing you or upsetting you.
Yeah.
13-11 isn't good. Okay? That gets you fired. That's what happens. And that gets the quarterback sent up out of town. So I don't know if you noticed. I know you've been covering the game for like 40-plus years, but you know 13-11 isn't good.
How about 30 touchdown passes as the Denver starter? That's
how many
great.
interceptions?
24.
That's
pretty
not
high.
good.
Sort of Jameis-esque.
Exactly. Yeah. And what did he get Jameis in Tampa? Up out of town. The same thing he got Trevor Siemian up out of town. Now, back to our originally scheduled programming. Mr. Mike Evans D, he got lucky because the pick 6, he almost had a pick before that. He put his hands on his head because he know he should have had a pick on that one. And he got away with it. F. The same grade that you gave Mahomes when he been stinking it up the last 3 games. Look at this, Skip. That's supposed to be a pick. Oh, see? Brady put his hands on his head because he knew. He's supposed to have got a pick. Look at this. The safety.
You know what? That was actually a very good throw. If Mike just says, I'm going to go catch this whether I get hit or not.
Whoa.
It's kind of like
Tom Brady doesn't do that. Tom Brady doesn't do that.
He doesn't play receiver.
Tom Brady sees the rush coming. He dropped like a sack of bricks.
He's 44 freaking years old. Yeah.
But so you want me to put...
Tom Brady has taken more punishment in his career than Mike Evans ever dreamed of taking.
So, hold on.
Ever dreamed of.
So you drop down, you do the fainting goat, but you want Mike Evans to take this car crash.
If he wants to.
No, he doesn't. He didn't want to.
Okay.
Nor would I.
All right. So I want to point out very strongly that the Hall of Famer across from me gave Tom Brady for yesterday's performance an F.
Yeah, what you want me to give it?
Flunk.
Yeah, failure.
Okay, as in failure.
Yeah.
I am going to give Tom Brady a B- for his effort yesterday because let's start out with this. Tom Brady brought his team from 23-7 down all the way back. That's my turn. It's my turn. 23-7 down to lead 27-26 because he threw 4 touchdown passes. Could we see these 4, please? But he got an F from the Hall of Famer. Let's see these 4 touchdowns that Tom threw yesterday. He was down 23-7, and here he goes to Godwin. And let's see another one, shall we? Let's see another one. Oh, I got this. Oh, here we go again. And that's to little Gio. That's pretty easy because he's the best red zone passer we've ever seen. And this one's to Mike. That was a sweet throw. I'd say that was pure touchdown. And then how about this one? He has to throw to Cyril Grayson coming from nowhere. He's
man wide open
this year because he does not have Antonio Brown and he does not have Scotty Miller. And yesterday he had Gronk for 1 throw only, and Gronk could not come down with it in the corner of the end zone. And his ribs were too sore, and he said, I can't play. But you still gave him an F, even though Tom Brady went 8 of 13 on 3rd down yesterday. Is that good? Boy, that's great against the Saints defense, which came in number 2 in points allowed. Even though Tom Brady's team committed 11 penalties for 99 yards, you gave Tom Brady an F. Even though the Bucs vaunted rush defense gave up 152 yards rushing to the Saints, you gave Tom Brady an F. Even though Tom Brady had the ball for only 58 plays yesterday to 72 for Trevor Siemian and the Saints, and you gave him an F. Even though he's throwing to Cyril Grayson for a touchdown, you're giving Tom Brady an F. All I know is Tom Brady was 28 of 40 for 375 yards and 4 touchdowns, and you gave the man an F. And by the way, my capper is the Hall of Famer across from me picked Tom Brady to win this game and cover the point spread, which was 4.5 points. So you picked the Bucs to win this game easily, and you still gave Tom Brady an F.
Yeah, but before you made some very interesting points, and I would like to address a few of them. You said Tom Brady's team committed how many turnovers?
11 for 99 yards.
So this is what I don't understand. Now, when things are going well, you say Tom Brady brought the Patriot way. You give them credit for everything that goes well. That's Tom Brady. Anything that goes bad, that's the team. Was that on Tom Brady?
Okay.
My second point. Hold on. My second point. You said Tom Brady brought his team back from 23-7. What role did those 2 turnovers, that fumble and that pick, play in them being behind 23-7?
According to Bruce Arians, the first interception was not Tom's fault, that we had a mental error on the route. I assume it was Tyler Johnson's mental error.
It's never Tom's fault because it's so easy to blame everyone.
The first guy who will criticize Tom Brady is Bruce Arians. He has scalded him after a lot of other games.
So let me ask you a question. So how did it, first of all, they were down 23-7. How did they get down? So, okay, let's just say New Orleans scored. The Saints scored first. They kicked the ball off to the Bucs. And then what happens? Okay, the Saints go back and score again. They kick the ball off to the Bucs. So what happened? Bucs throw a pick. Okay, they score again. Kick the ball back off to the Bucs. What did the Bucs do? So I'm just trying to say, so was Tom Brady the quarterback of the Bucs when the Saints were scoring and kicked the ball off to them? Was Tom Brady the quarterback? So, in other words, he played a role in them being down 23-7. The very role. Skip, you do not get to try and drown me and then bring me up and say, man, I saved you. You were trying to drown me. Tom Brady threw those picks, put them in harm's way, fumble the ball. You don't get credit for leading them back. It was because of you when we were in this spot.
He wiped the slate clean.
No, he didn't.
He absolved himself of all his sins. He brought them all the way back from 23-7 down, which he has always done in his career. He is the most unbelievable comeback artist this game has ever seen. And all of a sudden it's 27-26, but it should have been 29-26. But what happened? Somebody, Byron Leftwich, Bruce Arians, somebody, Tom Moore, I don't know who called the play, but you have the greatest red zone passer in the history of professional football. You have a Tom Brady who, since he has been in Tampa, is now 52 touchdowns to 0 interceptions in the red zone. And you call a 2-point play to put you up 3. That would be the magic number in this game, up 3. And instead of letting Brady throw the football, which you should have done, You run some silly end-around toss play to Chris Godwin, who's not very fast. He's very physical, but he's not very fast. Against the fastest, most physical veteran defense you could try this play on, and it went nowhere. Yeah. It didn't even get close. Help me out here. Would you rather Tom Brady throw that or Chris Godwin to loop all the way back around the backfield on a big old wide end around?
Well, considering he had 2 turnovers at that point in time, I'd probably take my chance with Chris Godwin.
Would you? I don't think you would.
Yeah. Okay, so you had brought him all the way back.
Okay, and remember what that would have done. If you make it 29-26, now on that final drive, it would have been 29 all, and you could play it a little safer. You don't have to pull another miracle out of your hat.
You got Tom Brady. Why are you playing it safe? You got to go. Now you play it safe. You said he had brought him all the way back. Now what happened on the final play? What is this? What are they celebrating? Tom Brady doesn't play for that team. Why are these guys on defense?
I'm going to give you this. His pick six was dumber than a dog chasing a car. I will give you that. It was dumber than a dog chasing a car. Yeah. That was his line about all defensive players. They're like dogs chasing cars. This was a dumb throw. I thought Godwin sort of edged up downfield a little too much on the play. It was supposed to be a square in crossing route.
Right.
And yet you can't try it. It's too dangerous at that point. And P.J. Williams, to his credit, just jumped all over it and said, thank you very much. I am gone.
Right.
And they didn't make much of an effort to tackle him because I think they all just said, we just lost the game.
The guy that threw the pick should be the one that's chasing, running down there to tackle.
He is not going to chase anybody.
Why not?
Because who's gotten hurt this year chasing down an interceptor? Oh, Baker Mayfield.
Who threw it?
He tore his labrum trying to tackle a guy who intercepted him.
Who threw it?
Yeah, well, you got to let it go.
But I'm just saying.
Got to let it go.
I get that. Okay, fine. I got no problem with the quarterback not chasing. Yep. I got no problem with that. A lot of them do that. A lot of them, and they should, because they're not used to tackling. They're going to probably end up hurting themselves more times than not. Yep. But you still have failed to tell me, how did the Bucs get behind 23-7?
I have successfully told you why. Well, obviously, if you're giving up 152 yards rushing, that doesn't help.
So why did you run the ball? You remember, you got playoff Lenny, and you got Rojo, you got Gio Bernard. So why aren't you running the ball? Because you become a passing team, and all you want to do is throw because you're trying to get Tom Brady the MVP. You're trying to pad his numbers.
No, I don't think you have to try to get him the MVP. He's going to win the MVP.
Matthew Stafford said, hold my beer. That's what Matthew Stafford said.
No mercy.
Well, last night, the Astros came back from a 4-run deficit to force a Game 6 and now head back to Houston looking to extend the series again. Well, the Braves just need one more win to clinch the title. The World Series continues tomorrow, 7:30 Eastern, only on Fox and the Fox Sports app. Wow, it has been exciting. Does it get any better than October on Fox? Also, though, yesterday, and this was a bummer, Jameis Winston went down early in the game last night, and the Saints are bracing for the possibility that it could be a season-ending injury. Third stringer Trevor Siemian finished the game since Taysom Hill is still recovering from a concussion, and Twitter immediately started calling for Sean Payton to bring in Cam Newton instead. So, Shannon, should the Saints sign Cam?
I think they'll definitely bring him in. Skip, Sean Payton played against Cam Newton. They were in the same division for a decade. So he saw him at least twice a year for a decade. Yep. So if anybody knows what Cam Newton is capable of doing, it'd probably be Sean Payton. I would definitely bring him in, put him through a workout. Like I said, we just talked about this earlier, Skip. Teams like guys that they have on their roster that's been in their system. They like to go in that direction first. It's hard. Quarterback is not a position. You can bring any other position, bring him in the week, Skip, put him out there, and he can play. Offensive line, defensive line, wide receiver, running. It doesn't matter.
We've been seeing it all year.
All year.
Throw them in there.
Quarterbacks are not like
Richard Sherman just comes in and plays.
It starts.
Yep.
The man gets off his couch on a Wednesday and starting on a Sunday night.
He did.
Quarterbacks are not like that, Skip. That is too much of a mental game. There's too much of a thought process that goes on where you have to know protections, that you got to know where you need to go with the football. It is hard for you to. It's hard for them to simplify a guy, simplify an offense for a guy that's never been there. I can simplify it for Trevor Siemian because he know our basic terminology. So I can get it down and say, okay, Trevor, this is what we wanted to do. But I don't know how you do that for a guy that's never heard your system, heard your verbiage before. But I would definitely bring Cam Newton in, see where he is, and if it's something, because, Skip, look, they got a defense They got a championship caliber defense. They got a playoff caliber defense.
No doubt.
I don't know if Trevor Siemian, even with the defense that good, because they had defenses good when he was in Denver, Von Miller was at his apex back then. I don't know, Skip, if Trevor Siemian is enough to get you to where you want to be. But I would definitely bring Cam in. Now, I'm not just signing Cam just to sign him, because Cam has said now, remember, Skip, he did an interview and says, I would have been willing to be a backup. Cam would probably have to come in and be a backup for at bare minimum, what do you think, a week or two, maybe 3 weeks? And if things are not going well before he gets an opportunity to play, and if that's something that, Skip, you put all the cards on the table. Okay, Cam, what are you looking for? Would you be okay being a backup? What if Siemian plays well and you don't get an opportunity to play? Are you going to be okay with that? So, Skip, I just need to be honest with him, Skip. I'm not going to bring him in there on false pretenses and say, promise him things that I know that I'm not going to deliver or I can't deliver. I'm going to be upfront with Cam. Cam, are you okay if Trevor plays well and you don't get to play, you're backup? Or is it that you're coming in here with the anticipation that you're going to start? Because I don't know if that's going to happen, but this is what we can offer you.
Okay, so Josina Anderson has reported that at this moment, New Orleans not interested in Cam. That does not mean that
They
later
won't
this
be.
week. Yeah, I agree. I believe in Cam Newton. I believed in him when he was drafted. I believed in him at Blinn Junior College. I believed in him at Auburn. I believed in him early last year at New England before he got COVID, which just derailed him. And I think he got hit pretty hard by COVID, so and I don't think he ever quite got back on his feet.
Right.
But when we saw him early, when we saw him that Sunday night at Seattle, he looked like MVP Cam to me. And I don't doubt that he still has that capability in him. So that's why I campaigned for Jerry Jones to go get him, because he's so much better than Cooper Rush. I was proven wrong. I ate my own crow last night, some cowboy crow, because Cooper Rush was, as you said, pretty good.
Right.
He was certainly good enough to win that game. And to your point, it wasn't like he threw for 117 yards. He threw for 325.
Right. And 2 touchdowns.
And 2 touchdowns, and he threw the game-winning touchdown pass when I least expected it at 1st and goal at the 5. He just said, I audible to you because you're single against the guy they just called up from the practice squad. Touchdown.
That tells you everything you need to know. That they're willing to allow him to audible and put the ball in his hands.
He was in command. I have no quarrel with any of it.
Right.
He was some hit and miss. He had the 2 turnovers, but he won the football game going away in grand fashion, and I will have no doubt that if they start him again, he'll play pretty well.
Yeah.
But can you go win the Super Bowl? No, you can't.
No, you don't win the Super Bowl with Cooper Rush.
Can
That
you
ain't
win
happening.
the first playoff game with Cooper Rush? You might make the playoffs with Cooper Rush after you got to 6-1. You might.
It might be a matchup. Who are you matched up with? You get the Rams. You're not beating the Rams with Cooper Rush.
Okay.
You get the Bucs. You're not beating the Bucs with Cooper Rush.
Okay, but if Cam had been the Cowboy backup and he had started last night, I believe they would have won the game with Cam Newton just as well. And if, God forbid, I'm going to knock on this wood over here, if Dak were lost for the year, if Cam went forward, I would still give them a chance to go far in the playoffs with this defense and this wide receiver group and this running game. With Cam at quarterback, I would like my chances.
He'll be added to your running game because now the 35, 40 yards that he gets added to what Zeke and Pollard's going to give you.
Okay, so he has proclaimed on social media that he did get vaccinated, so that's no longer an issue. You can't hold that against him. He's not going to threaten your team because, or the COVID protocol because he's unvaccinated.
I just wish Cam had done this in the offseason.
I got it. It would have changed life. It changed his life, changed everybody. I wish he'd done it going back to last year. But here we go.
But it just became available, March, April, April of this year.
I got it. I just wish he hadn't gotten COVID last year because it might have been a whole different story.
I believe they'd have made the playoffs.
Okay, so now we look at New Orleans quarterback room. It's pretty stacked because he had Trevor Siemian last year, so he indoctrinated him into the system. He got comfortable with him, and Trevor got comfortable, and he's a Northwestern guy. And
he's a smart guy.
Okay, we got it.
That's why he beat a Michigan guy. You know, them Northwestern guys, they're real smart, Skip.
I guess that's what it was.
They smarter than them guys
at
than Vanderbilt.
First, Northwestern.
They smarter than the guys. Northwestern might be a better school than Vanderbilt.
Stop it.
They might skip. I'm just saying, Skip.
Did you see what Dansby Swanson did the other night? Did you see that? Did you see the post-game interview? It's the greatest post-game interview in the history of professional baseball.
There you go.
Dansby Swanson, the first pick in the draft out of Vanderbilt. Thank you for allowing me to say that.
Exactly.
Hit the game-tying home run. Unfortunately, they lost last night. We'll see what happens now
tomorrow.
In the next couple.
Yep.
Okay, so stacked quarterback room because you got Trevor and he's ready to go and
Right.
he played pretty well. He wasn't great, but he was good enough and you think you go forward with him. Well, guess who's coming out of concussion? Okay, so he loves Taysom Hill, so he may go back to Taysom Hill as the starting quarterback next time.
But I feel comfortable in saying Trevor Siemian better than Taysom Hill at quarterback.
All right, so we got, but that's 6 of one, half dozen of the other because one's an athlete who can run the ball some. Okay, and you got that Ian Book kid they took in the 4th round out of Notre Dame, and I liked him a lot at Notre Dame. I think he's pretty good.
Right.
And he seems like a Sean Payton kind of guy.
Yeah.
He's got a little fire and brimstone to him.
So that's 3 guys.
Okay, so you got 3. So I just don't know if it's going to be a fit for Cam.
Right.
Okay, so now what's the issue with Cam going forward? Well, listen, Cam Newton is going to do Cam Newton. Whether you like it or not, he is who he is and has always been, and that's why I respect him. He just does what he does.
Right.
He's going to be a prominent on social media. He's going to have an impact on social media.
Right.
And he's going to have an impact on your practice and on your team. He's going to take over. Well, I love that because Dak wouldn't be threatened by that. I thought he'd make my team a little livelier. I think he'd bring up all the spirit in practice. You know, I liked him at the he was changing that old Patriot way. He was making it more fun to be a Patriot once Brady had gone.
I don't know if you heard this, but Phillip Rivers' season is over in high school football.
Yeah.
Said he might be interested in the right situation.
Okay.
Would you?
Man, I don't know. I'd still take Cam.
You take Cam? Okay.
I would. I just would. I don't know. How old's Phillip now? Is he 40-ish?
Easy.
Yeah.
Easy.
I don't know.
I mean, he probably want to get away. He got 9 kids, Skip.
Yeah. I just don't know if his heart would be in it at this point. Maybe.
But the thing, Skip, it's just so hard this late in the season, just coming out. And I know Cam was in a camp. Cam was in training camp, and I get that. But it's hard, Skip. It was 9 weeks into the season. And you're asking him, like I said, to come in, and what's his expectation? I hope he doesn't think that I'm coming in right away and I'm start. I think Cam would be patient enough to, like, you know what? Hey, I'll buy my time. This gives me an opportunity to learn the offense, so I'll know a lot more once I do. If I do get a chance, I'll know a lot more. I'll be a lot further along.
I am hoping Cam does get another chance because sometimes when you keep missing out, all of a sudden the league says, "Oh, we're finished."
Yeah, Skip. Cam is not a backup. It hasn't been a backup. You know, backup quarterback, Skip, them jokers play 15, 16 years and be a backup for 15, 16 years. Normally, when you're a starter and you've been very good, it's like you back up for a year and then...
No mercy, and I won't back down.
According to our own Jake Glazer, Derrick Henry broke the 5th metatarsal in his foot this weekend, matching another report that said he could miss the rest of the year after suffering the injury during Tennessee's win. The Titans improved to 6-2 with the victory, but losing Henry would certainly deliver a huge blow to their chances for the rest of the season. Hate to see it. Shannon, how will this impact the AFC race?
Oh, man, they're not going anywhere without Derrick Henry. He's the offense.
I mean, they're already in command in their division.
Oh, yeah. No.
Because they're 3 up in
they're a playoff team. But I don't believe without Derrick Henry, they can beat a Buffalo again. I don't believe without Derrick Henry, they can beat, say, Baltimore or Pittsburgh.
Name them.
That's what I'm saying, Skip. Because as you mentioned, they're 3 games clear of a Colts team that they've already beaten. So, but for me, how far can they go? Skip, Derrick Henry had 237 touches. That's 72 more than the next closest, which is Najee Harris. Skip, I hate that D. Henry got hurt because I like the kid. I like the young man. He's a good dude.
Yep.
But Skip, this might have added 2 years to his career. He was on pace for 500 touches. He plays this season, gets 500 touches. Skip, it's over. That's the point of no return. Nobody's ever been even close to that. So it was probably a freak injury. Now his backup is Jeremy McNichols, a 5th-year player out of Boise State. Second year on 10. He's been on 7 teams in 5 years. More of a pass catcher. He only has 7 carries, 21 catches.
Yep.
Will they make a trade? Is there somebody available at the trade deadline to try to give them? Because what makes them so dangerous is that you got to put 8, 9 guys in the box, and now you got AJ Brown and Julio. Julio missed another game with that hamstring.
Yep.
He just can't seem to get over that hamstring.
Cannot.
But A.J. Brown is eating because you got to go one-on-one with him, Skip, because you got to drop 9 guys in that box to try to stop this run. Now, without the threat of somebody running down your throat for 200 yards, I can play coverage. I'm not going to let A.J. Brown beat me now. I can roll coverage his way. And without Julio, Skip, they got an uphill battle. Can they win the division? They still got Jacksonville in that division. Win. Houston, win.
Yep.
So they're going to win the division, but I don't know how far. I don't believe they can go very far without King Henry.
I hate this.
I hate it too, Skip.
I hate it for Derrick Henry because he had a real shot at winning the MVP.
He had a real shot at ED's record, too.
He did. I hate it for the National Football League because Derrick Henry is something we've never seen before.
No.
We've never seen this big, this fast.
Right.
This big, this fast. And he ran so hard that combination, the scouts like to use the term unicorn, he's just something off the charts we've never seen before.
Right.
And he was running at his best, his hottest. And I hate it for all my friends that I went to school with in Nashville, big Titans fans.
Right.
And I hate it for the coach and the team because he was the driving force of this show. I'm not the biggest Ryan Tannehill fan, but if you give him Derrick Henry, he's got a chance.
Right.
He's going to make some big throws to some very good receivers. That all just changed. They just fell back to earth with a big thud because they will have no more threat in the run game as you just had. And now I look at this field. The AFC is starting all over. Everybody just came back to life because I was about to say Tennessee was going to edge away as the team to beat in the AFC. And they took care of your man Walker to him yesterday, but it went to overtime.
What was he doing?
Made one terrible throw.
To
this. The overtime throw was pretty bad.
What about the change to the left hand to throw the 2-yard interception?
That's what I'm saying. That was horrendous. But that was Tennessee taking over the division. And pulling away in the AFC race. And then I look down the list now. I do like the Raiders post-Gruden because they have a new spirit about them. And so we haven't seen them for a while. Let's see how they respond. You still like the Ravens. I can't give up on the Bills because they're sitting at 5-2. And I say, okay, remember, they lost their opener at home to Pittsburgh. And I kept telling you, Pittsburgh's legit good. So they were up 10. Buffalo's up 10-0.5 and just got stormed in the second half and lost it. And then they lost on a failed one-foot quarterback sneak at Tennessee. A huge night game. I still like Buffalo. I'm not writing the Steelers off at 4-3.
No.
Be careful. Here they come.
I mean, I was liking Cincinnati until they go to the Jets and lose yesterday. And so, Pittsburgh is not there, and then the Chargers, they've hit a cold patch. Now that we got outside looking in, the Patriots, Browns, Chiefs, and Colts.
Man, it's going to be a race, and it feels like you wipe the slate clean, and everybody's saying, okay, it starts now. Right? Because
now, Skip, you look at it, because so many of these teams have multiple losses, they're looking like, hold on, I got a chance at... I got a chance to be the number 1 seed.
That is
because
correct.
Buffalo still has to go to Tampa.
They do.
So somebody's like, well, hold on. This is not a foregone conclusion that they're going to be the number 1 seed.
I agree.
I like my chances here. And don't count on my homeboy out now. My homeboy get hot.
I don't count them out, and we get to see them tonight against what's left of the New York Football Giants.
What's left of the Chiefs' defense?
Yep.
Now watch they make Daniel Jones.
We'll see.
And how about this, guys? Ian Rappaport reporting that they're possibly going to start working out Adrian Peterson here. Look, I know he's not Derrick Henry, but
it's come to this.
We can wish maybe AP from 10 years ago could work. I don't know. At this point, he might be anything to help them.
No mercy.
So the Cowboys pulled off a wild win without Dak Prescott last night, who missed the game with his sore calf. And backup Cooper Rush got his first NFL start and delivered with 325 passing yards, 2 touchdowns, including the game winner to Amari Cooper with 55 seconds left on the clock as Dallas topped Minnesota 20-16. So the Cowboys are now 6-1. But Shannon, where do they rank right now in the NFC?
I got the Cowboys third.
Third?
Yeah.
Well, for you, that's actually pretty good.
I thought you were going like, okay, I see you coming around.
I thought you were going to say 8th.
No. I got them behind the Rams. Right now, Cooper Kupp is the offensive player of the year. We haven't seen anything like what Cooper Kupp's doing. Come on now. I mean, they go into the game knowing.
I haven't seen anything like Cooper Kupp. Like I
but he's like, hold on. The white guy taking over the position.
He just took it over. I don't know what happened.
900 yards.
This cannot be.
11 touchdowns in the first eight games of the season. That's never been done before. Mm-hmm. He's on pace for 133 catches, 1,963 yards, 21 touchdowns. The guy that was... if he wins Offensive Player of the Year, the guy that's going to win MVP will be Matthew Stafford because he's the one that's throwing them all these balls. So I got the Rams 1. I got Aaron Rodgers and the Packers at 2. 17 touchdowns, 1 interception in a 7-game win streak. Went to Arizona, the number 1 only unbeaten team, beat them without his top 3 receivers and 3 offensive linemen and 2 starters on defense. Jay Alexander is going to come back. He opted not to have shoulder surgery, Skip. Zadarius Smith is going to be back in a couple of weeks. More pass rush. They signed Whitney Merciless in free agency after he got released by the Houston Texans.
Jalen Smith, for what it's worth. Yeah.
I ain't seen him. Did he play the other night, Skip? I got your Cowboys 3rd. I got the Bucs. Actually, I got the Bucs 4th. Yeah, Bucs 4th, and I got Arizona 5th.
So you're proud of yourself. You have actually gave the Cowboys a little bit of third place love.
I mean, well, damn, Skip, what you want me to do? Put them first?
I do.
No, you can't put them first.
I am putting my Dallas Cowboys number 1 right now in the NFC on performance to date. That's all I'm doing. Performance to date. Who has performed the best in the NFC?
Rams.
No, it's the Cowboys.
Didn't they beat the Bucs?
Timeout. Guess what the Cowboys did?
What?
They went to Tampa Bay on opening night.
And lost?
And played them to the wire. They lost 1 game on opening night when they got goated by the GOAT. Tom Brady, yet another game-winning drive in the 4th quarter. 1:24 left. He drives them for the walk-off field goal. Well, that's a pretty great loss. I told you it was a moral victory, and that's their only loss. Then they won 6 in a row. What's the Rams' only loss? They got blown off their home field by Arizona. Yeah. Arizona's not that great.
No.
We've seen them fail, right?
And clearly, y'all not that great because y'all lost twice. And the team the Rams blew you off the field. The Bucs.
Who are you saying? Oh, the
Bucs.
Well, I didn't say the Bucs.
Who beat you?
Okay, but I'm saying the Cowboys have one moral victory of a loss. The Rams got blown off their home field. And again, I can't defend Brady and company right now. If I'm just ranking them right now from what I've seen, the Cowboys just ripped off 6 straight games. I saw Aaron Rodgers in his opening game against, it was obviously neutral field in Jacksonville, against those same Saints, get annihilated.
Do the same thing. They did the same thing. As a matter of fact, they did the same thing to Aaron Rodgers that they did to Tom Brady. Picked him, turned him over 3 times.
But that wasn't even close. Brady had the ball in his hands with a minute left.
And he threw a pick. Goodness gracious.
Okay.
How many picks he wanted to throw?
So which was the worst loss? Aaron Rodgers' loss or Tom Brady's?
There are no worse losses.
Okay, and Aaron Rodgers did it on a neutral field. Brady did it in that Thunderdome, right?
Is you lose or you lose.
Okay, no, if you're grading right now, if you're ranking right now, you're ranking right now who has performed the best. The Cowboys have. The Rams got blown off their home field by an Arizona that nearly lost at home to Minnesota on a walk-off missed field goal.
Skip.
Okay, I'm just doing who has performed the best. It's Dallas. You got to give them their props.
I gave it to the Rams.
It's the Dallas Cowboys.
The Rams.
And I'm not saying they're going to the Super Bowl. I'm just saying they have performed the best so far.
I like the Rams, the consistency. Look, Skip, y'all beat some bad teams, okay? And the Rams beat
beat
Detroit.
Who you beat.
Okay, then. And we beat Tampa, who beat y'all. So, ta-da.
Okay, so in the end,
so who you got second? Okay, you got the Cowboys first. Who you got second?
I got the Rams second. Okay. I will give you that.
You got the Bucs.
I got the Bucs third.
How? And they got 2 losses.
Okay, I'm not writing them off because I still think the Bucs are going to go to the Super Bowl. You want to bet against them right now?
No.
I'll give you a chance.
No, I don't want to.
And by the way, I also give you a chance to opt out of your bet right now. We have a 10-case bet on the NFC East.
No.
You got the field. TF, you got the field.
Oh, you're proud of yourself. You finally got one right.
Okay, finally got one right. That's all I ever do is get them right.
The last 2 years,
I'm kind of ashamed at how much I get them right.
Hello, Skip, but I'm just trying to figure out how you got the Cowboys leapfrogging the Rams. Have the Rams not been equally as impressive?
I just said I'm comparing their losses, and Dallas has a little less of a loss than the Rams have, right? It's as simple as that.
Well, maybe
anybody would get that.
Look, maybe Tampa isn't as good as we previously thought.
Well, I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll take Tampa to get to the Super Bowl for 5 more cases, just to get there. To win the NFC, I'll take it right now. No, because you don't want to.
We got plenty of time.
Yeah.
Let it play out.
Yeah, you say, guess who's coming back? Antonio Brown, Gronkowski, little Scotty Miller, Carlton Davis,
Scotty Miller,
Murphy Bunting.
You mentioned Scotty Miller. Scotty Miller hadn't been there in 4 weeks.
He has not. He's
been good
on IR.
Tom Brady's won 5 MVPs, won 5, 6 Super Bowls without Antonio Brown.
Yep.
Now he needs him. He's the GOAT.
They
told me he didn't need
the
anybody.
team to beat. And by the way, my Cowboys are about to get back DeMarcus Lawrence. You like that? All of a sudden. And you know what? I keep looking at my Cowboy defense and I say, it cannot be that good. And last night I sat back at the end of the game and I said, it is that good.
No. First Cousins was that bad.
Okay, but again, they have beaten some teams. They almost beat Arizona at Arizona, right?
Well, Arizona's going to beat you guys in Dallas.
No mercy.
It appears the Texans won't budge on their asking price for franchise cornerstone Deshaun Watson. The latest reports indicate he'll be staying in Houston despite varying levels of interest from Miami, Philly, and Carolina in the past month. So, Shannon, how surprised are you that he reportedly won't be traded by tomorrow's deadline?
I'm surprised, and the Texans should deal him. Skip, Carolina could come in and say, we're going to give you 4 first-rounders. But the Texans don't have the leverage. Deshaun does because he has no trade.
And hasn't he pretty much made it clear, I don't want to go there?
Miami. So, and it seems like, well, you do this, you do that. At the end of the day, Deshaun is going to determine how much value you're going to get because he's only going to go to a team that he wants to play for.
So I told you last week, I felt like there were too many monumental variables still hanging over the head of everybody involved here to get this resolved before the trade deadline. And it just feels like with the 22 civil cases and obviously the Houston police having interviewed 10 of the accusers, it's so much that's undone yet. The league has not reacted yet. The league is waiting. So I think we just have to wait and let the legal situation play itself out.
We don't know how long that's going to be, right? It could be a while. That is it for Undisputed. Guys, good stuff today. I know we'll be back with plenty more tomorrow. The Herd is on now.
Oh, Windows say.
Monday.